Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the top 8 of Polish nationals. Not sure if I'm live yet, but I'm just going to keep talking as if I am. I've come back because there has not been a break between the Swiss and the top 8, so I'm just going to cover this one game while we wait for Simon and Hamish to finish what they're doing. So I get to do one extra bonus game. I am on my own at the moment, but I may be joined by one of the guys very shortly. And we are here with something special. Unfortunately, the last Azalea game was not able to. We had some issues with the stream. You might have heard me and Shin's dulcet tones commentating the game, providing some audio commentary for it. But unfortunately, the stream quality was not so strong, so we weren't able to use that particular footage. But we are back. We have brought the Azalea player Metatron, I should say. I keep saying Megatron, but it's actually not that. It's Metatron back on stream. Playing Azalea. You guys didn't really get to see the full capabilities of the Azalea. Both me and Shin did cast the whole game. They unfortunately weren't able to win the final game, but did get the Briar player down to 3 health and were really dominating the game, was on the attack, was pushing damage through on the Briar, but the Briar managed to draw into a huge double channel mount heroic turn and just turn the tables on Azalea. It almost happened in one fell swoop, really. But the Azalea player was locked for top 8 and has been paired up here against a Oldham. It's a difficult. I want to say it's a difficult matchup for Azalea. I mean, it's not like I watch a huge number of Azalea games. I'll be honest with you, but I can't see it being the easiest matchup. But this Azalea player has managed to navigate one of the most competitive Swiss rounds. The last few rounds of Swiss has done pretty well. Has managed to retain their place in the top 8. I think they finished 5th yesterday after 9 rounds of Swiss. Clearly had a successful draft as well, and has now been paired up against Oldham in this quarterfinal. So I don't have the exact top 8. I think it's fair to assume that Inazumi is up there too, which was the Briar player from the last game. Inazumi being an incredibly accomplished player. But on the left here, we have Daniyar playing Oldham. Just have a little quick look if I have any information about that particular player. Because we have a big long list that FAB-LAB have provided for us, basically breaking down what these players have achieved, what they've done, which is incredibly useful because it can be quite tricky to understand what's going on in another country's meta. But the main takeaway is that Poland has some of the strongest players in the world with consistent top 8s and at callings, at pro tours. We've got, really top tier players who have a reputation around the world for being very, very strong. We're just waiting for the players to set up to get this game rock and rolling. We've seen a lot of Guardians today. We've seen 2 games previously. We saw it was a Oldham versus Briar. No, we had a Oldham. Sorry, we had a Briar versus Bravo for the game 1 today, and then a Briar versus Oldham. Both of those Briars did manage to take down their Guardian opponents, but we see here that we've still got an Oldham in the top 8, and I'm sure there's a couple of other ones. Always a good sign. We see the Oldham player reading what Death Dealer does. It always fills you with a bit of confidence in a player when your opponent might not know what your cards do. But just making sure that the Oldham player knows exactly what this Azalea player is capable of, checking the hero ability as well. Very important thing to do if you don't fully know the capabilities of this Ranger hero. So the Azalea Metatron has gone with a very similar loadout to the previous game. The Skullbone Cross Wrap, the Bullseye Bracers, the Tunic, and the Perch Grapplers with Death Dealer. And on the Oldham side, it looks like we have Seeds, Creative Fist, Tunic, and looks to me like the Ironhide, the pay 1 to block 2, which should combo quite nicely with Seeds and, of course, Rampart of the Ram's Head and the hammer there, Winter's Wail. So it looks like the Azalea player. Can't tell if the game has started or they've just asked to read some of the players' deck. I'm pretty sure it started, and the Oldham players turn this card around. Remorseless. Remorseless will mean that the Oldham player will lose a health for every action that they play. I think it's on play, so and they've pitched a bolt and shot to play this Remorseless out. The Oldham player will probably block this out turn one and respond. May be able to do something with an ice react on the top if possible. We'll just wait to see how they respond to this. Yeah, just we see the double block here. We'll see if there are any further defense reactions. Of course, these area players still got 2 cards in hand, so he's able to develop the arsenal regardless of any ice react on the top of those blocks. Yep, card in arsenal, and we will be moving on now to the Oldham player. There's probably a slight delay in my commentary on what you guys see on stream. So it might sound occasionally like I'm commentating a little bit after the fact. We have a slightly lower quality stream here on where we're casting, just so we can make sure we can provide the highest quality feed to you guys watching the game on YouTube. So I will try to cover as best I can. I know the Azalea cards a little bit, but there's probably going to be one or two that I don't quite don't quite recognize. So you'll have to bear with me. And that to me looks like a Terra Sunder being put down by the Oldham player here. Getting that disruption in early, pitching a pummel to do so. And coming in with a Oaken Old off the Terra Sunder. Presumably not fused because 2 cards have already been used to pitch and 2 cards have been played. But that is going to come in for 8 with Dominate, and on hit effect, lose 2 cards from hand. I believe Terra Sunder is discard rather than shuffle at the bottom. But we will, I can double check that for you guys. I think because Terra Sunder is a Guardian card rather than an Elemental Guardian, it is the discard on the Tear. Don't always see the Tear played early, but obviously it's a good opportunity when you're starting the game with a 4-card hand to get it in some disruption. And it seems to be hitting a red in the ledger, getting the block on the red in the ledger here. Red in the ledger, not as impactful a card against Oldham, that's very content to just swing the hammer at you, take that one action and just swing the hammer rather than go really wide. So the Azalea player is probably thinking, not the most valuable card in this matchup. I will commit the block here to reduce some of this damage, but he's going to lose 2 cards here and a big chunk of health. We see the cross wrap being used there to opt, and we see a energy potion being played out. Energy potion, great to get that on the field really early. That will cover the Azalea for things like Blizzard, for making sure that if the Azalea wants to pop off, wants to do a really wide turn, won't have to worry about Blizzard. And I guess any other potential costs that might need to be paid, or just to fuel the turn if Blizzard is not a threat. But I think being able to get that down early, especially on the back of getting rid of 2 cards, is going to be nice. And we see here a Spinal Crush for 9 coming in from the Oldham. Again, Spinal Crush, great card to shut down a go wide Azalea. We've seen this Azalea go really wide with things like Ravenous Rabble, Enlightened Strike in the previous game. And I'm sure that the Oldham player is aware of this Azalea. I'm sure people have been coming over and watching this Azalea player play today and yesterday. I mean, it's quite the spectacle, but that means hopefully he should have a vague idea of what's in his opponent's deck, what his vague game plan is, and how to best counteract it. And this Spinal should do the job. We see here a 2-card block blocking out 6 to make sure that the crush effect of Spinal does not come into play. And we also see, maybe it was 5, but he's following up with a Fate Foreseen to cover this off. Hopefully we'll not take any damage here unless the Oldham follows up with a pummel. But no. So the Azalea player retains their health, 35 health it seems still, but has committed 3 cards to stopping that Spinal Crush. It would be a little bit limited about what they can do here, especially with just if they want to play out the card from Arsenal. And it looks like that's what they're going to do. Sikkim Shot, it's a 1 cost for power, go again arrow, but the Azalea obviously doesn't have much to play with it. And I think because they committed 3 cards to the block and they've pitched 1 card here, I'm assuming they don't have any more cards in hand. So they are probably going to end this turn without a card in Arsenal, which, they want to be maintaining that pressure from the Arsenal. being able to start the turn by revealing a card and opting with the cross wrap is obviously a good play. And the Oldham just going to consider what they want to do about this Sikkim shot, whether to block it out, whether to let it through and hit back with a bigger turn. But I think we're going to see some prevention being done here, pitching and making sure that the Oldham player retains its nice high life total. I can't see this being a particularly easy match for the Azalea. The Oldham has, got some really great defensive tools to shut down the arrows that are being thrown at him. Not only that, Azalea can do a lot with dominate, but it's very easy for Oldham to handle dominate. They have the defense reaction, being able to earth react to prevent damage. A lot of the arrows come in for 5, so a 3 block and an earth react will cover that off pretty nicely. We've yet to see all the cards in this Azalea player's deck. I haven't yet seen a sleep dart, for example. That could be an option for setting up a big turn by getting a sleep dart through, preventing Oldham's hero ability from working, those defense reacts from working, and then trying to push through a lot of damage on a subsequent turn. This is coming in for 8. I think it's a choke slam. I can't quite see it with the dice on the top. Choke slam would mean that the Azalea player's cards can't gain attack. That's actually really relevant for cards like Bolton Shot. So Bolton Shot is a 0-cost arrow where if its power is greater than its base power, it gets go again. But obviously, if the choke slam comes through, that's not going to be in effect. I think that's choke slam. But again, apologies. Normally, I run everything past Shin, and he gives me his it definitely is a choke slam. But it's quite hard for me to see. I'm basing it just off the picture because I can't see the card text or card title from my stream. But I know a few of the pictures by now. The Azalea player is setting up another energy potion. This is going to be thinking maybe this Azalea player's got something spicy, got some kind of game plan, some kind of setup that they can do against Oldham that they're going to pop off with because, really setting up the field, making sure they have the resources they need to do something huge. So, energy pot pass could be worse, could be better. We're seeing what the Oldham player is going to do now. They come in with 10 with a Glacial Footsteps. I didn't see a fuse and clearly wasn't one because the Azalea again is going to throw down a lot of block on this, really trying to preserve that life total. If they do have a long-term game plan that they want to reach, then they need to make sure that they keep the life total in order to be able to do that. And we pass back over now. The Azalea player really just trying to preserve that life total, trying to wait for something big, has the card in Arsenal face down, so is able to do the cross wrap. That appears to be that's not a fatigue shot, is it? I think it might be. So fatigue shot is a really nice card against big attackers. It makes their first attack that they play do half damage. So, if they come in with a Glacial Footsteps for 10, but they've been hit with a fatigue shot in the previous turn, that attack's only coming in for 5. So this is something the Oldham player is going to want to respect, is going to want to try and do something about this. They probably don't want to let this go through. Fatigue shot, it only works on attack action cards. So, they could just swing hammer. The hammer won't be affected. It will still come in for 4.
Spicy bit of tech there, Trick.
Hey, look, it's Simon. Thank you for relieving me.
You've been
You've playing me to stop talking for 2 seconds.
You've been hung out to dry on your own there.
It's okay. I'm glad to be back for this game. It was a real shame that we didn't get to. We did actually cast the whole Azalea game, but there's as
there was a big issue
might not realize. They will realize there's a huge issue with the stream, but we're working with a really significant stream delay, obviously to protect the integrity of the tournament and make sure there's no issues there. So we actually the Azalea game, I don't think it had even started on stream by the time we had finished. So it was a real shame to finish casting and then see that it hadn't quite caught through. But we have to give full credit to the guys running the stream. They've one of them is judging as well, and one of them is playing. Has been playing as well. And it's really hard. They're working from a university out in Poland that they don't have access to the internet, so it's been tricky for them. But they've done the best with what they've got, and honestly, it's still been really really good. But a shame, but we'll move on. So Simon, I assume have you been able to follow the early stages of this game so far? Or have you just been
I've
able to?
literally just joined in. I was expecting a little bit of a later start, so apologies for the delay from here. We've just missed sorry, by the way, a hammer coming in. Azalea's respected that and blocked for 4. So yeah, I haven't been following the early stages. It looks pretty cagey, as you'd expect from an Oldham Azalea matchup. If you were expecting an Oldham Azalea matchup at all, it's not often that we get to see Azalea in the top 8 of big competitions. I think it's a fantastic show, and they've obviously picked the right deck for the right meta to get this far, and it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with Oldham here, who can obviously try and fatigue a hero that doesn't have a weapon that attacks without attack action cards.
Yeah, exactly. And we see here the Bolton shot come in, but it is shut down by a sink below, so not able. I'm not actually. The Azalea player did have a card to Arsenal, could have potentially reloaded there, but I imagine they just wanted to get that card in Arsenal anyway. It's an interesting one, Simon, because we've seen the Azalea player. I have been saying that there's the potential for some spiciness. We know we're seeing these. I saw one energy potion go down. I thought, okay, that's good.
Yeah,
That covers the blizzard, but we have seen a second one. I do wonder, it could just be to provide maximum coverage over Blizzard, but maybe there's something spicy going on. I don't know for sure. For
I was going
certain.
to say, I mean, to get this far, they must have come up against a few Oldhams already. So they obviously have a game plan. It will be interesting to see how that pans out.
Yeah,
Um,
they've been through 6 rounds of CC. They've clearly been very successful, but as we know, Polish Nats, there's been a lot of Briar, 22 Briar
yeah,
players, 10 Oldhams. They might have just dodged these more difficult matchups with against the Oldhams. But who knows? Maybe they have a plan to take this matchup down. We do see Azalea hero ability being used, loading an enlightened strike into the arsenal. Not an arrow, but an E-strike is an E-strike at the end of the day. We'll see what they can do with it.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hello, Hamish. I did see you
Hamish.
sneak in. We've got the full push the point. We've all come out for this Azalea game.
Stars have aligned for the Azalea game in the top 8.
Someone said top 8 Azalea, so there's only one way to do it. We've got to get all of us on this. This is crazy.
This is
Yeah.
a momentous occasion. Hamish, I can hear the family in the background.
They're
Similar
cheering
to
on for
mine.
Azalea.
Yeah.
They're like, we
I
gotta
know,
get this.
even my
Everyone's heard the
2-year-old is
news, yeah.
hyped.
We're seeing a winter spike come down, I believe, from the old Im. That's going to force a pitch to produce to prevent the discard. I think it's a winter spike. I can't quite tell from where I'm standing.
It does
Um,
look that way.
and I
I
think
was going to
also,
ask Trip.
yeah,
Oh, there's a CNC. So card disadvantage and card manipulation from the Oldham there, as expected. And a CNC is going to target the Arsenal, which, although it's only got an E-strike in, Azalea always wants an Arsenal. I was going to ask Trip, from the match that you saw the prior to the top 8 with Azalea, were they generally going tall, or were they trying to
they
get
were going quite
multiple?
wide.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. They were playing E-strikes. They were playing Rebels. Now, that's not to say that's what this Azalea player is playing in this Oldham matchup. They may be trying to go more tall, and they were playing in the previous game, things like Seek and Destroy, the buff that destroys the Arsenal. And this is the thing about Azalea. They have a access to AB2 through equipment that they want to be running anyway. This Azalea has AB2
Yeah.
right now just because they're running braces and they're running the
Skull cap.
skull cross wrap, skull wrap,
Yeah,
or
sorry.
whatever it is. I don't know. I can't remember.
Skullbone cross wrap is what you're trying to
That
say.
means that you have access to a lot more deck space if you want to, if you only need to run, you don't need to run AB in your list. It frees up a couple of extra spaces. And I imagine that means it's Azalea. If it is running an aggressive 60 card list, that means they have a lot of sideboard space to play around with. They can really target certain matchups in ways that other heroes can't. This is something I was coming up against recently, playing Kodachi fight. It's a great deck, but you're losing a deck slot to that second Kodachi. You're losing a deck slot if you want to run AB because you don't have natural AB apart from anything but tide flippers.
So you have to be a lot more set on your main deck,
Exactly.
and maybe a little less flexible in your sideboarding options. Which
and it's the same with Oldhim because Oldhim likes to run a lot of equipment. They want to run. They want to have seeds, Crown of Seeds, but they also want to have Crown of Providence. They want to run AB. They want to run Heart of Ice. That means that their main deck is a lot more set. It's these things like this with the 80 card limit in Flesh and Blood and the equipment loadout that can make a real difference. I think we're seeing another Chokeslam come down. We've seen quite a few Chokeslams. This is a really good card, again, as I was saying earlier, before Simon came up, for making sure that Bolt and Shot won't get its effect. And we do see another Fatigue Shot being used to block. That would have been a great card to play out to reduce some of this incoming damage coming from the Oldhim.
I think Oldhim and now Bravo as well, obviously, using Chokeslam in this meta makes so much sense. There are so many heroes that want to boost attacks and go tall if they can. It's such a good card. And although the crush effect only needs to it's not an on-hit effect, it is a 4 damage or more effect. It can still be tricky to block these big attacks.
Especially for Oldhim, Oldhim has some really big hitters. Sometimes they have Dominate, and being able to reduce down these 8s and 10s to 5s and 4s, you're coming in for 1 for 5, and it's almost like you're also healing. It's even better than healing because a lot of those attacks have relevant on-hit effects too. Really, really interesting stuff, and a really good choice by the Azalea player to take into this matchup. I think that is a Sikkim Shot in the Arsenal. Again, it's quite tricky for me.
Looks like a take cover to me, doesn't it?
Does it take cover? Yeah, well, that's going to be an issue. CNC is now being thrown down. Interesting pitch from the Oldhim player representing 2 floating on this CNC. Or maybe that was something related to something else. Didn't quite catch that in time.
They've double blocked. They've double blocked the CNC. They can't obviously use the take cover. The take cover's a nice card actually. 0 for 4 defense reaction allows you to reload. It's everything Azalea wants, unless it's a CNC where you can't play defense reactions.
Yeah, really unfortunate time for that CNC to get thrown. But obviously, the Oldhim player has, the Azalea player sometimes plays with their Arsenal face up. And it's, when you see that as an Oldhim, you're thinking, well, this is a great time to throw a CNC out.
I think what we're expecting here from Azalea is to set up turns, especially with the Skullbone Crosswrap, where you can get access to that information, what's on top of the deck, go tall with a dominated attack, often with an on-hit that's going to disrupt the Oldhim on the next turn. But it's not quite like Briar or playing against Rune Blades or Ninjas, where you can use things like Red in the Ledger to completely shut down their turns. Oldhim only needs 1 attack. They're often going to come in with the hammer. So things like Fatigue Shot, as you were explaining before, aren't necessarily that beneficial. Although we are seeing a couple of turns now where the Oldham's been giving a bit of breathing room. So they've come in for a Chokeslam for 8 and a Spinal Crush for 9 this turn.
This is the real trouble with the Azalea, because these are cards that Oldhim is running for Briar matchups, is running for Fi matchups, things like Spinal Crush, things that stop, more Chokeslam for Briar than Fi, but it's cards that they already have in their deck, but they also happen to be really good against Azalea, especially this go wide.
And it's the age-old problem with Ranger is that your pump cards often block for 2, and your arrow cards, which you need to conserve because that's your way of doing damage, block for 3. So if you want to get best blocking efficiency, you want your 3 blocks. But if you want to actually attack on the next turn, you're probably going to need to save those. So it's a really difficult decision for the Azalea player to make, whether to block at all or whether to use their big cards for that purpose.
We still have we could still see a block from the Perch Grapplers, from the Tunic, from the hat here, but it's so early. I'm not sure the Azalea wants to commit those equipment, and I imagine they have a big plan in mind for these Perch Grapplers in order to close out the game.
I don't know, to be honest. I think the Perch Grapplers they're an expensive go again, and I'm not sure
we did see them use them in the previous matchup with trying to go super wide to give
Right.
things like endless arrow go again. Obviously, if you can get the endless arrow with go again and it hits, it comes back to hand, and you're able to reload and utilize some other resources to go really wide. I just think that if this Azalea player is going to take down this Oldhim, they need to do something big. And I think Perch Grapplers is one of those ways that they can enable a huge explosive turn by giving some of these cards go again that don't normally have it. It might be something they use in combination with Three of a Kind, for example, which is a card that we know is in this Azalea player's deck, but we haven't seen it yet. It's looking pretty bleak at
It's
the
all on
moment.
the hit effects, though, isn't it? So it all depends on what sort of attack is coming in. So having Spinal Crush is definitely something you need to stop. But I suppose really it depends what the next attack comes from Oldhim that can give Azalea this breathing space. And it just looks like she's setting up for another Epot. So taking
Which
her
is good.
time.
I mean, if you have to block out an attack, it's a good card to just play out and set up the field. We talk about the big cost of perch grapplers, but if you've got epots on the field, then hopefully that's enabling something pretty big. I said it earlier when I saw this energy potion hit the field. I thought, oh, it's cover for Blizzard, and I'm seeing them now being played out over and over again. Maybe they do have something in mind to get a big turn off.
And it looks like we've got a fused Oakenold. Oh, joy. And it looks like he's just blocking with just the sink below. I don't know if you're going to commit any equipment to this either. So I think it's just going to be taking 5
Yeah.
damage, lose 2 cards, and then try and set up again. Oh.
So it looks like we had a defense react in Arsenal.
Arsenal? I believe so. Yeah, okay.
2 defense reactions from Arsenal.
I don't
2
think you
take
can.
covers. No, I just saw.
Oh,
multiple.
unless you take cover, reload, take cover.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, that would be it, wouldn't it? Take cover, reload
really
from
nice
that.
play there.
So 3 defense reactions on the board to stop the fused Oakenold.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's a pretty cool interaction. I mean, I don't know if he had anything in Arsenal at the time. I don't believe he did. No, because I think I'm not sure. It's quite hard because it's a little delayed. But it looks like we've got Remorseless in Arsenal face up. Ready for
Yeah, it's
next
what
turn,
that
I believe.
Azalea player needed. They don't really care too much about committing cards to these big blocks because they've clearly got a game plan in mind. But being able to just not take, 6 damage or 7 damage even from that dominated Oakenold is really big there. They're able to keep a card in Arsenal, which is what Azalea wants to be doing, and shut down a big attack from the Oldhim player. Oakenold is very flashy. It's obviously going to have a great on-hit effect, but I think this Azalea player is just trying to preserve life. Is trying to build something big, and trying to take out this Oldhim. It's not looking good. They've not dealt any damage to the Oldhim player yet, but there seems to be a game plan here, and I'm really excited to see how that develops.
Well, they've definitely developed the board state, haven't they? I mean, having 3 energy potions out is a blessing, I guess. It helps you get around frostbites later on in the game, but losing 13 life early on and not being able to get any life off the Oldhim as yet. We've not seen. Well, we've only seen a fraction of the Oldham's threats so far as well.
Yeah, that's true.
The Azalea player does need to be hitting back with something. It is all well and good to block out, but they do need to try and do some prevention. We do see the Remorseless come through. Again, the Remorseless is a fine card, but it's not going to affect Oldhim too much. You lose a health on playing an action. But the Oldhim player is more than happy to just swing hammer if they have to and block this out. I think it may have been. We see the Azalea hero ability used, so I assume that it has been given Dominate or something has been done. Yeah, we see Knock pitched. Can't tell if this is coming in with Dominate, but it should be relatively easy for the Oldham player to cover this regardless. They have access to a lot of equipment blocks still. They have Seeds with a card in Arsenal to use, and they have Rampart. It's just really, really tough stuff here for the Azalea player.
I think our stream chat has been infiltrated by the cult of Azalea today. Everyone's rooting for Azalea. But I agree with the sentiments that actually Oldham is probably the worst matchup they could have come up against in the top 8. If it had been a Briar, I'd give them a much better chance, actually.
Yeah, it's interesting because the chat, there's a big stream delay, so we're seeing people see the first few turns in the chat and just saying it was a really bad start. For you two guys that weren't here, the Oldham started really strong with a tear asunder, getting a tear asunder off, getting some discards going on. It was a pretty brutal start for the Azalea, but they have managed to keep a cap on the damage that they have taken. They've taken 13, but could be worse. Definitely could be worse at this point in the game. And yeah, we see the Rampart and Seeds and card block on this 5, which, this is the issue with Dominate for 5. It's something we've seen before with things like Arknight Ascendancy in Viscerai. It's not as impactful as a 6 Dominate, because it's so easy to cover with a 3 block and a piece of equipment for 2, or in the case of Oldham, Seeds and Rampart. Those 5s are pretty bread and butter to cover.
But I suppose it's better than, you got to do something, right? And it just means that Oldham is now, it might not necessarily have a really big impactful turn. So Azalea is going to have to take something to the face in order to start pushing up that momentum. So it looks like we've got a Frosty Hammer coming in for 4. It's not the worst, I don't think. Maybe he's just got to sit back and think, can I, if you've got a defense reaction just to take that out, or even if you just block for 3 and take the 1, or take the whole 4, maybe, just so you can push it. It looks like he's blocked it with a defense reaction.
There are definitely plenty of defense reactions in this deck.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it is more of a second cycle deck. If that's the case, if we're looking at some sort of tri-shot Perch Grapplers combo, then they're going to need to have the life total to take the damage to set that up. So I don't think they want to lose too much life on the way there.
No, I mean, Azalea's one of the few heroes that can actually really slam the pitch stack like on overdrive with a headpiece looking at opt in a card that can put that down to the bottom, and then Azalea will then put the card in Arsenal down to the bottom and then put the next card over on top.
It does cycle quickly, eh?
It gets through that really fast. Plus, Death Dealer as well was putting a card down, drawing a card. So she is going to get through to her second cycle way quicker than pretty much anyone else, really. She's one of the few heroes that can just smash through her deck to get to that second cycle the fastest. So maybe that is his plan, and just not get crumpled on the way.
We see the searing shot come down here. If it's coming for 4, if it hits, it deals a point of damage in addition to any damage dealt by it.
Lose 1 health, they say.
Lose 1 health. So,
it's pretty strong, actually.
It's a good word.
Can't do anything about that.
Yeah. So, but I think the Oldham. We'll see what the Oldham does here again, coming in for 4. Whether they will what they will do about it. Looks to be like could be an Oldham defense react here, or it could just be it's just going to be the Rampart on a block probably. But yeah, like Hamish was saying, the Oldham is blocking this stuff out. It's all well and good, or we even see a defense react on it. Actually, maybe they wanted to just get that out. And the Oldham is happy to sit back and swing hammer. We know this. We've seen Oldham players play this before. It's the inevitability of that hammer, the inevitability of knowing you've got the cards in deck, seeing a CNC go down here. Obviously not a good sight for any Ranger player. But like you guys saying, if the Azalea player is playing for a second cycle, is playing for a huge term of Perch Grapplers, and we know this is a good player, we know that the Polish scene is super strong. We've seen this Azalea player rise up the ranks to get to this top 8 spot. You can't help but think that they've got something in the back here that they're going to try and achieve.
Now we see the third CNC from Oldham. I mean, that will hopefully be a relief to the Azalea player, getting all of those out of the way early-ish. Still got plenty of life. Obviously, there's no time on the top 8 matches.
I wonder if the Oldham players starting to recognise this though, and go, okay, right, I need to have some sort of disruptive plan when that second cycle comes around. So being able to have like something like Spinal Crush or an Oakenfold, and again, right now we've got a I believe that's a CNC for
Yeah.
9.
It's
Six
for
for
6. Okay, right, yeah. I was like, oh, what did he do? Is there anything out there that can do that? But no, coming in for 6.
Only if you're
Azalea's
Briar.
worst nightmare. Only if you're Brian. I don't know. Oldham
Good
can
old
Oldham
Chinaman
can run
heroic
the
and
old
CNC.
pump cards
That's
as
true.
well.
Earth Lost Surge, yeah.
Yeah. FS Surge, CNC for 11. Okay, well that looked like it was easily blocked out, and I believe it was then Azalea'd a defense reaction into. That's why it's flipped up. So
But they
Yeah,
cross wrap, and then opt, and then potentially Azalea seeing what's on the top.
yeah.
and I think we do see a Bolton shot there pitched to the bottom. Bolton shot obviously going to be a hugely important card if the Azalea player does want to go really wide in a second cycle. Getting arrows with go again and reload, it's exactly what they want to be able to do if they are going to pop off with, say, 3 of a kind or try shot or something along those lines.
Or all,
I think that must have really
all of them
annoyed.
put together.
I think that annoyed his flow, that CNC. You can tell because I think he put that defense reaction in there so that he can be able to throw that out into the next attack. CC pops up and it's like, right, okay, I can't use this. What I wanted to do was throw that out there so that I can Death Dealer and, do you know what I mean, start the cycle over. I honestly don't believe he wants to see that defense reaction back into his deck.
In the pitch stack, no.
Yeah, he doesn't want that in the pitch stack.
disrupt the pitch stack.
Yeah, so that CNC's probably thrown a turn off a little bit because now, yeah, that's it. He's probably just stopped right there, and
But again, he's using the sinks, he's using the fates. This is all pointing toward, and he's not used any of the knock the death whistles to shuffle the deck. He's not used any of them. He's blocked with them. So
that's it. So he was waiting for the next attack, and then
It's a really interesting strategy because it obviously means that the Azalea can't utilize Memorial Ground at all. Memorial Ground also shuffles the deck, which you'd think, well, that'd be a great card for playing against an Olden that's trying to fatigue me to push
Memorial
more,
Ground doesn't
cards.
shuffle the deck, does
No,
it?
it doesn't. No,
it just puts a card on top.
Oh, does it put it on the top? Shin said it shuffled the deck.
Oh, don't believe him.
Shin lied to me.
Don't believe this guy.
It just takes a card from the graveyard
you
and
can
puts it.
still use Memorial Ground then. So that could be something that we see access to if the Azalea player does need to block with some cards that they want to see.
I wonder what he's gonna. He must be obviously setting up for some huge, just.
Well, so my question then is,
if
if we're seeing a pitch stack, which it looks like we are, firstly, what life total does he need Oldham to be before this works? Secondly, what are we going to see? Because he's got 2, so we've got 3. We've got 3 energy potions on the board. So I'd imagine one of those goes towards activating Perch Grapplers.
Yes.
You've got maybe try shots. You've got rain razors because we saw one pitched earlier. You've got potentially 3 of a kind, but that would rely too much on reload getting things in. Well, we're going to rely on reload getting anything in Arsenal anyway because you've only got.
You need to stack those try shots so that you can essentially. We could see an almost Death Dealer Lexi style Azalea here if they're able to get the snapshot Death Dealer Lexi. This could be something that we see the Azalea player attempt. Try shot the Death Dealer so they're able to use it multiple times. Keep on loading arrows. Keep on pushing the damage through. They've all got go again with the Perch Grapplers. It's got the potential to be pretty huge.
I'm not gonna lie.
How much does try shot cost?
Try shot is
0. I'm actually loaded up FAB-LAB just so I can
cost 0. So you can just use your bow an additional 2 times.
Right. Okay. And
So
then drawing cards.
But we just to go back to what Simon was saying, that's all well and good if this Azalea player can get to that stack in time with the pressure that's being put on them. This Azalea player runs a lot of 2-block cards, maybe cards that don't block super efficiently. And the Oldin player is being allowed to have a lot of space to push through cards. Here, we see a Spinal Crush here, and I assume this is indicating for the Oldin player that the crush effect is in effect.
He's taking a lot of damage.
Push through a bit of damage there.
Mm.
Oldhim, we think of Oldhim as being a slow controlling deck. The Oldhim, a lot of these Oldhim decks have access to incredibly powerful cards, big dominated effects. This Azalea player needs to be really careful about going down low. Hasn't got too many
There you
equipment.
go. It's starting. 3 of a kind. We're in.
Are we starting now?
There's
Are we
very
going?
few cards left in the deck. This looks like the beginning of the pitch stack. But
Okay.
Spinal Crush is on the table. So is he now going to have to wait until the next turn?
I think it would be a very odd time to pop off if Spinal Crush.
Yeah, I was going to say he's only got one turn, and that turn was to play 3 of a kind. Maybe that is his turn. Maybe he wants to push through, finding these last couple of cards.
Yeah, exactly. Just churn the deck. But you can see there's maybe 15 cards left in the Azalea deck, right? And am I wrong in seeing that?
It doesn't look like there's a lot. I'm not going to lie. I am curious as to what he's
it's an
trying
interesting
to plan.
Because if the Spinal Crush's effect, obviously 3 of a kind doesn't have go again. Just draw 3 cards, and that is your turn. But maybe the Azalea player just wants to get that card out of hand and wants to get a specific card, and maybe needs thinking.
But also,
I need to reach my pitch stack as
have we
quickly as
seen
possible.
Bolton shot
Why not
at
just
all?
draw as many as I can?
We've seen a couple of Bolton shots. However, he has pitched a couple. Oh, we've got Terra Sunder
a really,
here.
really important turn here from the Oldhim player, being able to get the Terra Sunder. It's not a fused Oakenord. It's only 8, but this could really disrupt what the Azalea is trying to do.
Yeah.
Here.
I think, that was the thing I was worried about, that we've got the setup plan made up, and then the Guardians doing what Guardians do best and just go, oh, is it now's the time? Okay, time to disrupt. And it's just like, this is the worst time to do this.
And of course, the Oldhim player can see the Azalea player's deck. They can see how many cards they've got left. They can even ask for it to be counted if they want to. They should know, right, when is the Azalea player ready to pop off? I can see that they're running out of cards. It's got to be soon. Now's the time to throw out this massively disruptive 8 dominate. And I was going to say something earlier. I think one of you guys might have also noted it. Is the Azalea player has actually already played quite a lot of their defense reactions already. I'm not sure how many more they can have in the deck if they have got this plan of pitch stacking and working through them. You don't want too many, because otherwise they get all bunged up in what you want to be doing at the end of the game. I mean, you'd look at this and you think, you see 3 energy potions on the field for the Azalea. There's got to be something spicy coming. I'm just really hoping that the Azalea player could do the spicy thing.
I hope so too.
We all want to see it. I mean, he's got a 6-card hand plus an Arsenal at the moment. Even if he has to discard 2 off of the Terra Sunder, there is still hope. But it's just whether those 2 are vital for the. Obviously, building a 6-7 card hand into this turn, maybe he's got another 3 of a kind he was hoping to set off. So he had 8 or 9 cards in hand.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Tear isn't as bad as Crippling Crush. You get to choose the discards. Like the Azalea player at least has that. It's not a random discard from Tear. That's something.
Okay. Well, he's got to have blocked Summon, because otherwise he's dead.
So I think we see. What card do we see revealed there by the Azalea in the Arsenal? It's hard to make out.
Take aim? No, try shot. That is our try shot.
It's our try shot. Okay, we're going. We're here. Wow.
It was
I'm
such
excited.
a bad time for that disruption from the Oldhim player. If only it had just been something the Azalea could just take and come back with this turn. But we are going to see something big here. What can the Azalea player do?
Energy potion used to fuel Death Dealer for the first time. An Endless Arrow in the Arsenal.
Perfect. That's a good start.
Have we got our Rain Razors, and have we... Oh, we've Perch Grapplers. That's the other energy potion.
Okay.
So every arrow now has go again.
coming in for
We've
4. No, not dominated.
4 go again.
What is the Odin player going to do here? They should block 6. They should think, what is the card that blows me up here? It's got to be Rain Razors. But maybe I can't see how many cards the Azalea player's got in hand. Is it 2? It could be a double Rain Razors, but then what do they do? Can't get the...
So Tri-Shot was played from Arsenal. There should be 3 cards in hand.
Yeah, if they did... No, because we had 2...
2 discarded from a 6-card hand and 1 in Arsenal.
Yes, of course. But wait, was it a 6-card hand? Was it... Did they draw with a 4-card hand when they play the 3 of the kind?
Mm-hmm.
I see. Oh, it's spicy stuff. It's spicy stuff. The Odin player's thinking about it.
He just
Doesn't want to mess
happening.
this up. Imagine how much you think, when was the last time you saw someone with 40 health think this long about taking 4, right?
Yeah.
Well,
It's we know what that 4 really is.
Are we in for a massive literally an endless arrow? Just endless amounts of endless arrows?
But it can't be endless, that there is a limit because of the number of try shots, the number of times that the Azalea player can load a endless arrow into the arsenal.
But could you
that
then
limit is pretty high. If they can keep drawing into try shots, if they can keep, they've got braces to put it in an extra time.
But is there a way to get a card into the arsenal like by reloading and then play another try shot?
Yeah, that would be what the multiple uses of Death Dealer would be for, right? Because they haven't actually played.
Death Dealer puts a card into Arsenal face up, right?
And draws a card.
Yeah. Whereas I'm trying to think, what does Bullseye Braces do?
Bullseye Braces allows
you may put an arrow.
Load a card and +1.
Right.
You can see it. You can see what's happening here. And this Olden player is taking his time. He's thinking, what do I do to make sure I don't lose all of my health here?
Well, surely he's got to block that endless arrow, right? Surely this is the time to just go, I block. Just block. I mean,
yeah.
I don't need to take damage here. Even though you are on 40 health, you might as well just try and be as high a life total as possible at this point. Block it all out for this big turn, and then come back when there's not something as crazy as an endless amount of tri-shot arrows coming at you.
Taking a lot of time to think. I think that's appropriate considering what's on the line. This is top 8 match. There's going to be a lot of arrows coming his way, but where does he block? He's got Crown is active, is available. Sorry, he's got Crater Fist, he's got Iron Rock legs, and he has a tunic which can pay for the crown. But we're expecting at least 1 Rain Razors on this turn, potentially 2.
And what was your read, Simon, on the number of cards in hand? Is there a possibility that the Azalea player has another Endless Arrow in hand?
So I believe if they which they didn't block for the Terror Sunder, they would have put 2 of their 6 cards discarded. They would have Death Dealered with the E-Pot to make up to 5. They played Tri-Shot from Arsenal, 4 cards still in hand. They would have put a card back in Arsenal with the Death Dealer E-Pot and drawn a card. So there'd be 4 cards in hand. Still.
So he's throwing it. He's throwing
cards, but if
he's
really can follow up with another Endless Arrow, that's going to really limit the ability. Oh no,
he's gone full equipment block.
Full equipment block, not 3 cards from hand.
So shield plus Crater Fist plus Iron Rock Gauntlet for 4 exactly. He's now gone up to
it's for 5.
5.
It's for 5.
And then Rain Razor?
For 6 to Rain Razors. Okay. But he can still Olden react.
Yeah, he can still
Crown of
Seeds.
Yeah.
That will cover the full 6.
And then maybe he's got another Razor.
Wait, why was the block for 5? Sorry, Crown plus 4 equipment.
Yeah, it's Rampart, Crater Fist, and the Ironhide boots to pay.
Is that Ironhide? I thought it was Iron Rot. Sorry.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Ironhide because he's
just
got 1 resource floating left.
Yeah. So let's see if he activates Crown.
I don't see any reason why not.
I mean, at the moment, it would be pretty bold to not crown here. I mean, letting the Azalea player have this endless arrow back
Yeah.
and taking a damage.
Because
not
if the
what we wanna be
Azalea player
doing.
doesn't have another arrow, this turn's dead.
I'd imagine he wouldn't commit this hard
Oh, I agree.
to
I
one
agree.
endless
But
arrow.
he chooses to
Oh,
ice
he's old,
react.
so he's putting the right. Okay, I think that's definitely gonna really mess up the turn a bit.
But
But
I
then
think the
I can
Azalea
imagine
player's
he's
got the
got.
cards. You know, he's still got the crown. He's waiting to use it. I imagine that's to use it at the optimal time.
Unless he doesn't want to get rid of his Arsenal.
That's the point. Yeah, that's the thing. If it's a defense reaction that he thinks can shut down a follow-up arrow, then he maybe doesn't. But then that's letting this endless arrow hit. Unless I'm missing something here, because he's used the ice react, he doesn't have access to the earth react anymore. He's got a tunic, so he can seeds off the tunic, but he's got a resource floating, so he can seed off that too. And at the moment, he's blocking 5. Here we go. The seeds comes down. He uses the tunic resource for the seeds as well. Wants to keep that one resource floating. We don't know what that could be for, but it could be useful.
Maybe it's Oasis Respite.
Yeah, really good point, Hamish. That could be a really good way to shut down a follow-up. And another Rain Razors comes down.
Yeah,
Double
that's
rain.
what we were expecting.
It's raining. It's a raining endless razor.
However, he is now blocking 8, right? So
he's not blocking 8. He's blocking 6.
He ice reacted. So
it was an ice react.
He can no longer earth react. This endless arrow, unless we see a defense reaction come through, is going to hit.
And we're going to see a reactivation of the Death Dealer to get the card he ice reacted back anyway.
And the Olden player has now committed 2 cards from hand to blocking this original, 2 cards pitched. That leaves him with 3 cards in hand after seeding, because the Arsenal, he'll draw a card. 3 cards to work on any future arrows. This is really incredible stuff. What a fantastic game to be able to cast with all the 3 of us here together.
It is. If only Olden wasn't on 40 health.
I know, but I think this what's 8 times 5, Hamish? It's 40. It could happen.
It could happen. It could happen. Imagine. I mean, that is quite a lot of times you can just slam that.
If you've got no cards in hand and you're coming with you arrows for 8, all of them have go again, and if they hit, they into your hand. You're drawing
Surely
a card.
this is Oasis.
You've got 2 resources from Energy Pot. This is definitely doable. And you're looking at the Olden player's face and you're thinking he doesn't look happy. You're looking at the Azalea. He's got his hands right in front of his face, focused on this game. He doesn't look distraught. He looks like he thinks he can do this.
There must be another.
I'm just reading the chat and thinking people predicting what's going to happen. You're going to love it when you get around.
When you get gratification. Going to be crazy.
You are not prepared. Okay, come on, man. I really want this Olden player to just go, okay, I take 2. Excellent.
He can't. What's he got? What's he gone for? Staunch response.
Staunch response.
Over the top.
Those are 2 more cards from hand, though.
Yeah, so he's got nothing left in hand. Or he's got 1 card left in hand.
If the Azalea player has something else to throw here, this has been
I don't think.
So the Azalea player has to have an arrow in hand. Otherwise, as Hamish said, should they have committed that hard? Like, I think there has to be a way to activate Death Dealer again.
Is that it?
Got 2 Rain Razors on the field. The Olden player did have the defense reaction to shut down that first endless arrow, but what does the Azalea follow up with?
Okay.
Oh, it's lagged. I see the card being put down, but I can't see what
it is. Another endless arrow.
So good. Oh, I don't believe it.
How did he get the endless arrow down?
He had 2. He had 2 endless arrows.
But how did he get the other one down?
It would activate. He's got. Oh no! Wait, are they?
Oh no!
Oh yeah, no. No, this is it. So
he throws everything at the next one.
He had the second endless arrow. Is this right? Yeah. Yes.
Then
And
he
he
blocks for
activated Death
1,
Dealer
2,
because
3.
of Tri-Shot. Would have drawn the card.
We see the Tunic, the Rampart, because obviously he gets the Rampart back because of using
4,
the Death
5,
Dealer.
6.
And an E-Strike.
So
Yeah, so we're
1,
blocking 6.
Versus 8, right?
3,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, 7.
He's just
Didn't use
mitigating cost now, issues now, right? So that should be
Did he have
all
it
of the.
covered? Did he have
Uh,
it covered?
How
Because he
how
didn't
did
use the
oh,
seeds on the previous
No,
attack
is
because he
he
had the
has.
Rampart.
okay, so it looks like he is now
Then we've
hit
got a
with the
Bolton
endless
shot
arrow.
in. Now we've got a Bolton shot in Arsenal. So this is coming in. Nothing left in hand for the Oldham,
Yeah, so
which
this
gives
is
you free reload.
Oh, he just had enough because of the
Epoch.
no, the Oldham player just had enough to cover
The endless
the
arrow.
second endless arrow.
How? I'm trying to work out how he
He
did that.
still hadn't used his seeds prevention.
And the Rampart went
Oh,
up
that
to
was
2.
it.
F dealer breaks the chain. Rampart goes up to 2. That's why he was keeping that extra resource. That goes for
Ah.
3.
He
An
chucked
extra
the Tunic
3.
in there as well.
Chuck the Tunic. I thought it was 7, but I must have misseen it. But it did manage to cover that second endless arrow.
So
And
there was an E-Strike, Rampart for 2, that's 5. Crater Fist is 6. Tunic is 7, and the Seeds is 8.
it's 8.
Oh, that's awesome. That's just
Brutal.
It is
But
brutal. Well played
the
to the
Oldham
Oldham player for seeing this. Like,
Yeah,
it's
the Oldham player has nothing left in hand. If this Azalea player is able to access another Endless Arrow, we don't know where the third one is. It may be in the grave, it may be in the deck. If they can find the third one
I don't
and a
know.
try shot, that could be it.
I think
But
they may have used the Endless Arrow earlier in the turn.
And then I think all the rain razors are
Sorry,
gone.
in the game.
All the go
rain
again's
razors are
gone.
the
out.
Azalea player is thinking, you can see the body language in the Azalea player completely changed after seeing that second Endless Arrow get blocked out. They thought they had it. They thought they had
With
this.
one card in hand, you would hope.
Close, but maybe they can do something. Counting the deck, it looks like how many cards left? Where do you think the cards are that you need?
It's interesting because if he'd have used Bullseye Braces to load it and give it +1, he would have got it back, but he wouldn't have got the extra card
The
from.
Ram's Head's doing so much work.
First damage of the game dealt to the Oldham player. 4 damage, but yeah, like Hamish just said, that Rampart, it's going to be able to be used every single time as a.
He's
you can see he's done it.
A real disappointment, but we got to give full credit to that Oldham player. Like Hamish
Yeah.
just said, he saw the lines, he saw what he needed to do, what he needed to cover. So unfortunate the Azalea player wasn't be able to get it off. But what a showing, guys, for this Azalea in this final of Polish Nationals.
He was
Amazing.
one resource short. 1 point of damage short on the Azalea side from that being a ridiculous turn, right?
Oh yeah. If he can get that, even if he felt like he can get that first one going, right?
Yeah.
That would have it would have been quite wild, but yeah, but he saw it. He gave him no quarter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as you say, the Rampart did a huge amount of work in that.
Insane. And you don't even need to keep pumping the 1 in anymore. He just knows that he just every time he's doing the Death Dealer, Rampart blocks with 3. It's like he's got a free block card hand every turn. Just going right.
Yeah, it'd be really
block
interesting to see how much damage that Azalea player could potentially do with Rampart on 3 block. They're going to try an Endless Arrow continuously, keep activating Death Dealer in order to load cards into the arsenal, use those braces for an extra 1. They might even have a couple of, like we saw, Bolton shots to get some extra Endless Arrows in. It feels like the damage potential of that combo is incredibly high, but unfortunately the Oldham player had the defense reaction in hand, was able to cover off the damage in the correct way and didn't misplay and allow one of those Endless Arrows to hit.
Well played.
Well,
Amazing
that was just
game.
an absolute joy to watch.
Yeah,
All 4 games that we've watched today have been absolutely cracking. It's a real shame you guys didn't get to see the previous Azalea game, but the quality, these have just been fantastic to watch. I've had such a great time watching these games. But I think we'll be moving on now to the semi-finals. I believe Hamish and Simon, you're going to be covering the semis and the finals, correct?
Yes,
I
we're here.
will always be happy to cover a semi.
Thank you,
Right.
Simon. We've had
Thank
quite
you,
a
Simon.
professional and dignified stream up until you turned up.
And then the dad jokes had to just come in so fast. Yeah,
absolutely. So, just looking at the stream, I'm aware that people are finding it laggy. It is an issue we know about. We've said already that the stream is relying on an internet connection provided by the university where they're playing the event, and unfortunately, it is struggling somewhat under the pressure of the flesh and blood stream here. We will try our best to cover the games as well as we can. What I would advise is, although we are on a delay from the matches being played, it also helps if you watch the stream slightly behind live, and it allows you to watch with less lag, just to be aware.
that's what I do as well. I roll it back like a minute or two, and then just gives you just.
I
Gives you
don't
a
know
little
if you
bit.
guys can see the stream intermission slide at the moment, but someone has made an actual Talishar for the champion as a trophy.
I know, that was so cool, man. I did make a joke saying that is this the the winner has to behead the loser of the game, and then I started thinking about this way too much, thinking how wild of an event would that be, where the winner doesn't actually want to win because he doesn't want to do this, and then the losers is like trying to frantically race ahead like some sort of Hunger Games, going, I can't be last place.
Hamish's thoughts go to much darker places than anyone else's.
It's a cool weapon. That's what I mean to say. It's a really cool weapon.
It does look. I mean, we should put it on Forged in Fire. They should take it on there and see if it will heal, as they say. If anyone's watched that show, it's quite fun.
Right.
So we are going to take a break. We are going to wait for the top 4 next round coming up. Semi-final.
Yeah, and I will also finally break. I was meant to stop streaming after the Swiss, but I managed to get a cheeky game in. What a great extra game to cast! But I will be taking a break now and leaving you guys with Hamish and Simon to cover the final 2 games of this incredible tournament. So
Thank
You're
you
a
so
hero.
much.
good luck,
Thank you
guys.
so
You're a
much.
hero.
I'm gonna go get a very strong coffee.
Yes.
See ya. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Hamish, I'll see you shortly, dude.
See you shortly.
Hello and welcome back.
Welcome back. Hey, Simon, how are you?
Yeah, we are. I'm
Quick
good.
break.
Quick break. I like
Yeah.
to see it. So we are back. It looks like we've got a Briar Mirror in the top 4 of the Polish nationals. We have Inazumi. He's been on stream a couple of times already. He was top 4, I believe, at
Yeah.
the Pro Tour Lille. Or
Ooh.
no, was he finalist? Did he play against Matthew Fox in the
I
final? He's
I
got a
yeah, I believe he
constructed
was.
rating, ELO rating of over 1800. He is playing on Wojtek Klimczyk, who
Wojciech. Yep, you can
Klimczyk,
pronounce that better than I.
who is also on Briar, otherwise known as Klimcho, and he has a very high ELO rating again of nearly 1740, and was top 2 finalist in the calling in Lille. So both of these players had a great time in Lille. I'm assuming they were both on Briar. It does seem that Poland loves the Briar. So it looks like, Hamish, that we've got absolutely stellar Briar Mirror to come.
Oh, it's going to be wild. I can imagine it's going to boil down to the card draws. It's going to be pretty wild for Channel. It's basically going to be Channel Mountain Heroics, isn't it? That's going to
Whoever
be
gets the Channel Man Heroic out first.
seemingly. I mean, this is depending on whether this is this type of decks that they have made. But we guarantee to have a Briar in the final for sure. And then the Olden player that's just defeated the awesome Metatron, who was playing Azalea just earlier, I'm not sure who they're playing up next, but we'll soon find out. But
I mean, this is relevant. Having Briar in another final, they are getting closer. Briar, they are getting closer to Living Legend status, and Poland,
very
I
close.
believe, with a 96-player cap, invite-only event attracts 20 Living Legend points for the winner. So that is not. It's greater than 10% of the points that Briar needed before this season started, and she has already, or they have already, racked up a couple of wins. So we are seeing potentially a step towards Briar's Living Legend status.
Yeah. So at the minute, Briar is currently on 872. She's managed to achieve 30 more. I think she's managed to get 30 more points since. I'm not sure when the this was updated. This was updated on the 19th of September. I think they are keeping on track with it because it says national champs change. It says it's plus 30. So based on that, I believe she's on 902 Living Legends points. So if she managed to get a couple more wins here, and even if she managed to pull out
Well, there's
a
one
US Nationals.
There's one Briar in US Nationals top 8.
Oh, okay. So I tell you what, if that one Briar wins US Nationals, and on top of this, I think we got a
Potentially
4th
Living
Living
Legend.
Legend. Yeah, absolutely crazy. Well, regardless, we're in.
We are seeing the beginning of this Briar Mirror, and Inazumi has come in with a first turn Rune Chant plus Swarming.
Yeah.
No arcane barrier on either side.
Who needs it?
Who needs it in a Briar Mirror?
Yeah.
Wojtek has blocked out the Swarming for 4, and will we see activation of the Rosetta? A Weave Earth played just to activate the Rosetta's 2 arcane. So coming in for 2+2, block the physical, take the arcane. We are starting the game proper at 40 to 37. Wojtek now has the play.
Yeah. This is a heads up as well, people who are watching this, is that it's a little bit laggy on our side. So you may be seeing stuff as we're commentating it, and it might seem like we're a little bit behind on that front. So just as a heads up on that.
Yeah.
But it looks like we have got a massive Weather. I believe it's probably blue, followed up by a Nimblism, followed up by the
Lightning Surge with Go
Lightning
Again from the
Surge.
embodiment of lightning.
Big 12 attack, big 12 damage with a Go Again. This is going to sting, and then I can imagine it's just going to follow up with a Rosetta for 2 and 2. Follow that.
We've got a nice single floating resource, which generally means
Rosetta.
Rosetta.
Yeah. 12 damage, so massive. I think could it be Weave-Earth Red? It must be Weave-Earth Red.
No,
right?
Earthlaw Surge Red.
Oh, Earthlaw Surge Red. That's what I mean. Yeah.
So
Blimey.
8+4. Not bad. Not a bad turn to come back with.
Not a bad turn. I mean, that's crippling crush levels of damage. It's pretty mean.
Interestingly, seeing a 2-card block, still taking 10 in total on the turn. Obviously, Briar Mirrors are not expected to go long. We are seeing both players play the Ether Iron Weave rather than the Tunic because they see more value in that in a short game. We're now seeing Inazuma come back with a Nimblism into a Coax for 7. Currently no Go Again. Will we see a block? And if we do not see a full block, which we do.
Okay, we do. I was going to say, everyone, I would bang the kettle on now because by the time this game is over, the kettle will be ready for your cup
to
of
go
tea.
for another cup of tea.
But don't go too quick because you might actually miss the game if you're too long getting that kettle on. Right, so full block, looking like it's coming in for Lightning Surge.
No, Entwine Lightning.
Lightning.
And I think it has been fused. You can just see the card down, I think, to the bottom between the grasp and the
That's going to be the Lightning Press.
So 4, we think Go Again.
Yeah, it's going to be a 4 Go Again. I imagine really it's just trying to pressure as much as possible to just throw out as much damage as you can, I can imagine, and trying to just get those Rosetta triggers off.
Having played in similar Briar Mirrors recently, I think it comes down to who can get you within the kill range first.
We've got our first channel Mount Heroic from Inazuma.
That card is a good reason to take damage. So we're now seeing Channel Mount Heroic into a Scar with Go Again for 7. So that was a good reason to take the Entwine Lightning, which didn't have Go Again, by the way, for 4.
Oh, it didn't have the Go Again.
It didn't. I don't think so because
I thought I saw a card face up.
I did, but we've now hit with the Scar for 7, so we're bringing life totals back closer together. What's he got to follow up?
It's creating that Earth embodiment.
Just a Rin Chant and a Rosetta.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. He's got
another three guaranteed damage. Wojtek has blocked with the Crown of Providence, so maybe just filtering out a card from his hand, looking for a fuse or another non-attack action, maybe to try and give him Go Again.
We'll see.
So taking a decent chunk of damage. He's got the Lightning Surge from Arsenal, so 4 Go Again straight away.
Maybe that was the card that was.
Yeah, I think so. He didn't want to play it. Didn't want to pitch it. So we now have. I would assume Inazumi's, unless there's any big on-hit effects, I would assume Inazumi's going to take this damage and come back with his second full Channel Mount Heroic turn, potentially being able to keep the Channel Mount Heroic for a third turn if he's got the right cards to pitch for that. So he's taking the Lightning Surge damage. It has Go Again. Wojtek has a full hand, so he has 4 cards left in hand. Pitching for Grasp.
Yeah. And he needs a non-attack action card.
I'd imagine there's a...
okay.
Going
Coax
for
Commotion.
Coax.
Okay, imagine he's just going to let... Well, the arcane damage is definitely...
Arcane damage goes through. Yeah. And then we'll see. I wonder, because if he lets the Coax hit here, I don't see Wojtek giving either of them a Quicken token. That would seem silly with a Channel Mount Heroic on the board.
I agree. It's...
And draw a card we've got a full block anyway from equipment.
His equipment block that one. Okay. And there's no Go Again currently either, unless they've got snappies.
I think both players are playing snaps. I would imagine. This Poland Briar list is a very oppressive go again list. It's not like the belittled Briar that it lost to in the Pro Tour final in Lille, but it's more traditional, what we used to call Cheerios Briar, with a lot of zero cost go again. Oh, there's a bit of a risk there playing the first G tome, Gorganian tome, but
oh man,
he's
it might
hoping
pay
that
off.
it's going to give him the turn to sort of push this in the right direction.
Okay, interesting. You got we're coming in with a Scar for a Scar coming in for 7 with currently no go again because
No, it did have go again because he had a lower life total when he played it. We're now seeing E strike. I would imagine for 8 go again.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 go again.
Blimey.
Then a snatch for 7.
Yeah, and then the snatch for 7, and now we're probably.
And now we're sort of in the kill range. He could give that. He's got another card in hand. He could give this go again with snappies if he gets the card draw. What are we going to see? Full block.
Yeah.
Has he got another card in hand? Is he going to use the snappies and try and draw more of a block? Because he's got 2 cards now already.
Okay, yeah.
We're tidying up.
Oh, no. We're not tidying up.
We
got Snapdragons.
And a
then
CNC for 9.
Snaps break the 8th Iron Weave CNC for 9.
Bosh.
Wow.
So that's the value of the Ether Iron Weave, making full use of both resources. In a quick game, this is turn 3. And he's already pushing down towards single figure life.
Okay, then he's got coming up with his own snaps, and then oh my days, he's coming in with a Sigil Suffering, 1 arcane damage,
blocking the whole snatch.
Oh, he's going over.
We're going to see snappies activated here, maybe if we got the card draw. No,
maybe.
just gone for the embodiment.
Okay, so he was down from 3 to 2.
Down to 2.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
so
this is
every card now, even though the channel has gone. Every card is now threatening lethal.
Entwine Lightning, fused, so it has go again. And I believe that's... Oh, he's coming in with his own defense reaction. Oh, man. Sigil Suffering is doing its work. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I sound a bit distracted. I'm just watching the chat from the stream, which is now getting to the pitch stack reveal.
Of
and the blocks of the Oldham, and I'm reliving it in my head.
Oh, sorry, bros. We're just watching these 2 Briars just absolutely electrocute each other. I believe that. I think so. Judging by how things are going, it looks like they've wrapped up.
Have we finished? Did we go for the win?
I did say that. Don't put the kettle on now because the game's going to be over soon. But it looks like Inazumi has took that
one.
Yeah. The health total was obviously too high. Didn't manage to get enough cards out. And
down on 3. And the Rosetta, he had the Entwine go again. All he needed to do was play a non-attack action and then pitch for the Rosetta to do that 2 arcane damage. Game over.
I imagine that's how it went down. You just bear in mind, everyone, that from what we're seeing, the quality is all been presented over to you guys, and we're just rolling with what we can see, basically. So it's quite really bad lag on our end, but we're trying to push through and commentate as best as we can. So, yeah, Briar in the final, Simon.
Definitely a Briar in the final. I feel good. I feel good about that. I feel like Briar's a good choice. She may struggle into Oldham and potentially Icelander, depending on the build, but she's still a good aggro deck. We saw in the UK Nats that Fire was probably the best aggro deck in that tournament. And we have obviously seen top level draft for 6 rounds as well. So half of the Swiss has been draft. And if the top draft players are playing Briar, then they're going to be near the top. So I'm happy to see Briar get closer to the final, get closer to Living Legend, putting in a great stint, and it'd be interesting to see who she comes up against in the final.
It's definitely one of those things where Seeing Briar getting into Living Legends is going to really massively shake up the format. I think it would, because I think a lot of people are going to obviously tune down their decks to deal with what Briar can push out. With Rosetta Thorns leaving the format, it really puts Viserai into a bit of an awkward spot. I mean, this is like pre-Dynasty, right? We don't know what Dynasty is going to offer to the Runeblade class, but it's definitely going to be really exciting to see if we do see Briar get Living Legend out. Do you think that he will, though? Do you think that he will?
I honestly don't think they will Living Legend out before Worlds. I don't think they're gonna quite get there. As you said, it's gonna take them winning the US Nats, which is possible. I don't know if those games have started yet. I haven't seen. But I don't think it's happening just yet, which is good for Runeblade players because they get to keep, if that happens, they get to keep their
Rosetta Thorns.
Rosetta Thorns.
I'd be happy, man. I've got a cold foil Rosetta Thorns, and I don't want to see two weapons that are cold foil now in the banned box that I've got. I've got a cold foil Dustblade and a Dustfoil Rosetta. Man,
You made a mistake.
I'll be left with Reaping Blade, Scythe, and Nebula Blade. I mean, and I'm spoilt for choice.
Spoiled for choice. Okay, let's go and take a quick break. Go and make that cup of tea you put the kettle on for 5 minutes ago before the game started, and we will see you back in a few minutes for the Polish National Championship final.
Awesome, guys. Thank you.
So we are back slightly earlier than advertised. The second top 4 match currently.
Okay. Well, you better get the oven on because by the time you got your oven in the roast, it should be done by the time this Oldham mirror.
Yeah, you've probably got a
kicked
couple of hours, guys.
off. Yeah. So
Let's see though.
we went from making a glass of water is probably come back and it's done to a full-blown roast.
So the 2 players in question on Oldham, we've seen Danny R already. He's just won a match against Azalea. We also have Duofanal, who is Maciek Janik, who top 8'd in Pro Tour New Jersey. He was also at Pro Tour Lille and the Nationals for Poland last year. So
fantastic
players with pedigree, again showing themselves to be at the top of the list again and again.
Yeah, and Daniel just comes straight in with a sledge, and that's fully blocked. Easy peasy. Arsenal draw up. Duo is now coming in with the sledge as well.
So we're going to see. I think we're going to see a lot of sledges.
We're going to see a lot of sledges. Simon, you want? I'm just going to quickly just. I was hoping to go to the toilet in time, so I'm just going to quickly nip, and you keep commentating on the amount of sledges being thrown.
I'm on it. Oh, we've got a block.
We've got a block. Okay, 2 secs, everyone.
So both players here kitted out in the same equipment. That's Crown of Seeds, tunic, iron hide legs, and Crater Fist. Both have the sledge, which for those who aren't familiar is a 4-cost 6 damage. Danny R takes 3 of the damage from the sledge on the last turn to go down to 37, and then comes in with a Glacial Footsteps red for 10. Did he fuse it? For 10, potentially Dominate. We don't have the badge on the table, so I'm assuming it's just 10. And he's trying to get some cards out of hand, make the decision harder on whether to block or just take it. So really, we're going to just see whether Duofanel has the cards in hand to hit back. Otherwise, he may want to just block up and come back with a sledge. So we're thinking about a block here, and we've got a 2-card block, taking 4, and I assume to come back with a sledge, maintaining an arsenal. Yeah, pitching that pommel there. You can see that should come back around later on in the game. It could be key, and just coming in for another 6 damage.
So Simon, I am back. Thank you everyone for your patience.
You've only missed 1 sledge.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say I'm going to get a little post-it note up, and I'm going to count how many sledges we have seen on both sides.
You've missed a Glacial Footsteps red and a sledge.
Ooh, and a sledge. Okay. We're in for a long one, everyone.
Sledge was fully blocked. We're now going to see another sledge for 6.
Oh, yes.
And again, so we've just seen Duofanel pitch a pommel, Hamish, and now we're seeing a Terrace Under pitched by Danny Yar. And these are the sort of cards that could come around second cycle and be very, very relevant.
This is pretty much the important thing, everyone, that you need to keep an eye on. It's just keeping an eye on that pitch zone to see this big second cycle slam fest happening. So,
Block,
yeah, that's
2-card block.
And GFNL is now working out which cards he's probably going to sledge. He has GFNL on his 3rd sledge. Danny has now carefully crafting which 2 free blocks he's going to throw out this,
Yeah,
so that he
and
will
which
then
2 he's going to pitch.
to Sledge, which is where this is what it's boiling down to at the minute. We're removing the cards we don't want to see anymore, and just setting up that second cycle pitch. Okay, and obviously as well, all the defense reactions, clearing all of them out. We don't want to see any of them as we're getting through to our second cycle. Although I can imagine maybe 1 or 2. Who knows? Danny R is now coming in with a Spinal Crush for 9. Although they keep putting the
They keep putting the
6.
6 on the line.
I'm like, whoa, what did he
However,
do?
I mean, the Spinal Crush doesn't really. I mean, it's just 9 for 5, isn't it? I mean, we're not seeing any worry about the crush effect here because Oldham's not going to be going again.
No. So it's just going to be leaking through 3 damage. That's fine.
That is fine. 3
That's
damage. Who
fine.
cares?
But it may matter later on down the game. We're just chipping through that damage just so we can get into that later stage of the game.
I love how we've gone from a match where they were taking 15 to 20 damage a turn to a match where they're worried about taking 1 to 3 damage per turn.
Yeah, that's true. So Duofano is now currently winning on the for the Sledge game. He's currently on 4-2. This is exciting stuff, everyone. I'm curious how many Sledges is going to win in the end. Well, obviously we want to see a winner, but how many Sledges? That's the real
spice.
This is what we really need to know. So Danny R is obviously again working out which cards he wants to block up with, keeping the equipment ready right until the last point. And obviously it's just blocked up there. Oh, I tell you what, Danny R's throwing out the cards. Okay. He's going for it. Tunic, pitch, choke slam, and he's pitched a keep an eye on that. He's pitched up a Macho Grande, which is
a nice dominate card.
Yeah, that's gonna definitely hurt him later on. So I think Danny R's opting to go down to the route of he's going to throw some big key cards out. Maybe the ones that are not going to do some huge dominating effect stuff. But he just really wants to just chip down that health as much as possible. But Duofano is going to be. He's got a tunic counter now, so he's got room to use his Sledge even to. Oh, hey up! I see and expose the elements here.
Ouch.
Okay.
So nothing left in hand for Danny R.
Yeah. So are we killing? Are we killing?
We
killed the crown. We killed it. Oh man, spicy! I love it.
Absolute spice.
I love it. So what's he done? He took an armor point off of something. Yeah. So he's fused it with earth and ice. And so the ice is going to kill the crown, and then the earth is going to take out. I believe you could even just knock down one of the pieces of equipment. I'm not sure which one he's picked. Okay, and then he's just coming back in with a Sledge. All good. He took some damage for that. He's took some damage for that. Simon, how are you feeling with this? Expose the elements. Oh, spicy.
I mean, that is nice, spicy tech, right? So, got rid of crown. It makes the pitch stack for Oldham a little bit harder. You don't get the same card churn because you're not putting cards on the bottom and drawing cards every turn. Although we haven't actually seen a crown activation yet. So, will it make a big difference?
That is true. I think it will potentially in the end, because when it comes to these last little bits of blocking power that you need to have, it's quite big, I believe. I think it's enough to stop that 1 damage coming through. I think it might be impactful in the end.
I think you're right. I think it is going to come, and Duofano's taken such a big hit to get to that point.
Oh, Duofano, that is crazy. You've won my heart with the exposed to the elements, and you're winning my heart with the amount of sledgehammers. You're committed to the Sledge. You're what? You're on 6 now, I believe. And Danny, you're on 3, man. You step up the sledge game.
I like that you've made a little game within a game. I enjoy that.
I mean, when it comes to Olden Mirrors, there's it's a long game. We see it's gonna be second cycles when things are gonna really spice up. So the first half, you need to we need to up the adrenaline here with the amount of sledges we're seeing. Oh, okay,
But this
Danny.
is another big attack from Danny R. He has got a very aggro list, and he is willing to take the chip damage, blocking with 1 card, pitching 2, and coming back in with the big hits.
Oh, okay. That doesn't.
But we are seeing a
fine.
fully pitched Staunch response, blocking for 10. So Staunch red, paying 4, stopping all 10.
That's all good. And then we're going to go for a sledge again. Oh, Fanel, man. Hero, 7 sledge swings. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Daniar's going to be... Oh, he's slowly getting chipped down a little bit at a time. Slowly. But I think he's... I don't know whether he's just trying to get rid of all of his defense reactions at this point. He's obviously not wanting to take any of this.
He's maintaining that higher life total. I think that's important in this matchup.
I think it is in the end. I think he's trying. I believe Daniel's really trying to work out how much can I just start being ahead on the life lead, so that when I get down to the second cycle cards, that I'm using my higher life total to really push through this. So that is a block for 5, I believe. Taking 1.
Just letting 1 leak through.
Yeah.
Sledge. Another sledge.
Oh,
he's in.
He's in. We're back in now.
Tunic and sledge.
Daniel's on 4 sledge swings. I can imagine Joe Fennell is going to block for 6, which he does. And then he is going to come back for, please be a sledge.
It's a sledge.
It is. Oh my days. We're on 8.
Sledge Watch is going absolutely crazy.
We are on 8 sledge swings currently. This is crazy. Polish Nationals is not disappointing us with the sledges.
Just while we have this moment between sledges to look ahead, obviously this is going to give us an Oldham Briar final.
Of course. Just also notice as well, we've seen an Oakenold and a Glacial Footsteps, obviously blue, pitched up for this as well. So expect to see that later. Not the one that we want to see together, I don't believe. Danny on 5 sledge swings. Sorry, you were saying. I think they're actually push slamming out. It's not really too difficult, right? In the end, if you're just going to be swinging sledges at each other. But yeah, it's going to be an Oldham and Briar, like you were saying.
Old foes, both from Tales of Aria. A couple of sets ago now. Both heroes coming into their own. It's been really good to see both heroes enjoy success in Blitz and in CC.
Yeah.
Briar obviously a lot closer to Living Legend than Oldham. And I would say it's a pretty 50-50 matchup. I think it depends a lot on Channel Mount Heroic.
I think that's the big thing, really, isn't it? Because I think it's Oldham's game. If Channel Mount Heroic isn't on the board, the Briar player has to intricately set up quite a lot of big pump attack moves, followed up by a 2 attack swing. But the second the Channel Mount Heroic's out, that's when things are going to get crazy. But let's not focus on that right now, Simon. We've got a sledge swing we've got 6 sledge swings now from Danny. He is keeping up, and Girofeno is back on. He's on 9. We're going to get 10 sledge. Oh God, did you try and say that really fast?
10 sledge swings.
10 sledge swings.
What about 6 sledge swings?
Oh, what about 6? Oh, Girofeno he stopped. He stopped with the sledge. We're going in for an E strike, probably for 7. Probably
7 sledge swings.
7 sledge swings.
Send Simon spinning.
Only the best coverage for the Polish nationals.
What are you trying to say?
I think this is an E-strike for 5. Draw a card. I do apologize, everyone. Just so you know, we see everything in kind of snapshot scenes where we see something happens, and then about 8 seconds later, the screen a new image appears. So it appears that the E-strike was probably coming in for 6 or 7. He obviously went in for 7, and he blocked for 6, took 1. Daniar's coming back. He is slowly creeping up with a sledge. He's on 7 sledge swings. Joe was stuck on 9. Can Daniar catch up with the sledge swing count?
He's still leaking a little bit of life as well.
Yeah. All right. Okay. No. Joe was like, oh no, he's getting too close. I need 10 sledge swings. No matter what happens, the real winner for me is the person that swings the sledge most.
You're a fickle man, Hamish. You're a
I am.
fickle
I am.
man.
It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much, especially in an older mirror. I honestly, nothing can compare. So Daniel is still working out what he's going to choose to block with. On our side, from where we're seeing it, I don't believe he's going to let anything through. He's
He's blocking one card.
blocking 1 card. Okay, taking 3.
So
That's
maybe
fine.
we're seeing another Glacial Footsteps.
Yeah. Whenever someone's just chucking 1 card down there, they're really committed to this. Oh,
Oh,
okay. Zealous
we've got
Belter.
Zealous. Okay.
Okay.
Zealous pitching. It looks like it may be a Macho Grande.
Yeah. And then he's obviously thought this very tactically, right? He's sitting there thinking, am I going to play out this card and give you 10 sledge swings? Like, don't be silly. Do not be silly. Have a Zealous Belting, and the sledge swing count continues. Do not worry, everyone. We have got another sledge on the
Have
way.
no fear.
The sledge is here.
The sledge schedule will resume shortly.
Has no fear. The sledge schedule is here. Okay, this is good. This is fine. A sync blow. And then Oldhim Ice React. Yeah. Oldhim Ice React. I believe that's what's happened. Is it? Yeah. That's what's happened. That's pretty good. That's GFN. I was like, don't be silly. No one can compete with the amount of times that I am going to swing my sledge. We're now on 11.
So CNC pitched for the second cycle there.
Interesting. That's
Much
good.
more effective when you don't have a crown of seeds to get rid of your arsenal.
That's very true. Very true. These CNCs are actually going to be a bit of a pain.
Do we think Daniar is running exposed tech as well?
I'm not 100% sure. I don't believe he is, though. I don't believe he is.
Are we going to see another full block?
We are with a Arsenal bit. Yeah, we missed what he blocked with. Oh, I think it was a staunch response from Arsenal.
From Arsenal, yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Right, Daniel back in with the sledge. 8. Daniel's on 8 sledge swings, everyone. Girafeno was going to work out which 2 cards he's potentially going to throw in front of the sledge.
Which ones are going to be
one
sacrificed to the sledge?
He's like, oh man, what 2 cards am I going to pitch up to put in front of the sledge?
Oh, blocking for 3.
Okay, we've got a big one.
So just while we're it's
okay.
pulsed. Just while we are watching this, how amazing is this game? That there are obviously people out there that take absolute joy in watching control versus control. As we see Glacial Footsteps come down for 10.
Is it
I would
10 or is it
imagine.
8?
We've just had a Briar Mirror, which has been the complete opposite. We're now watching 2 decks work for their second cycle, pitch stack appropriately. Every time I watch a game of Flesh and Blood, I learn something new. Every time I play a game of Flesh and Blood, I learn something new. And there is just something for everyone. Even Azalea, the Cult of Azalea has been out in force today with Azalea's top 8 nationals run. It's just joyful to watch the meta at the moment and see such variety.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This meta has been very exciting with Rhinar wins, lots of Oldham wins, Fi winning UK nationals. We haven't seen a Icelander win yet, but it's been quite open. It has been quite open. We've seen a Briar win, haven't we? I think a Briar has won a nationals somewhere. So it's not been like all the other just like big events that have been happening. You know, it's been a really open field, so it's plenty to learn. Don't worry, everyone. We've got you covered. So Danny I's on 9 sledges, Duofendel's on 12 sledges, and the health total is actually starting to even up a lot now.
They have evened up a lot. It's just going to depend now on who has stacked their second cycle. So we're probably starting to come round. We're counting graveyards now.
Yeah.
We're probably coming round on the second cycle in a couple of turns.
Yes. Someone did remind me of the math. There is a number of turns that you have where inevitably, no matter what happens, you get to your second cycle.
Yeah, and looking at the deck sizes at the moment, it's tricky from this camera angle, but they are pitching 2 cards a turn, and they are blocking with 2 cards a turn roughly. So we're starting to see the graveyard and the deck equal up a little bit.
All right, okay.
Strike for 7 coming in on this turn. Block with a Tear Asunder, taking a 4 damage or a couple of damage. Sorry, it was 5 go again. I think was it?
I believe it was just. I think it was just a 7 because JFNL is now coming in. He's opted out of the sledge plan. He's coming in straight for a Spinal Crush for 9, which will ultimately get blocked up for 6. Bringing in his health total down to roughly about the same level, 21, I imagine. This Polish Nationals has been absolutely wild, I have to say. It's sort of, everyone was sad to see it, but having that Azalea in the top 8 is going to be, it's going to be a show stealer. No matter what happens in US Nats.
I've just seen Jan Starek on the chat in our stream here on the FAB-LAB stream, saying that Azalea build is the combo, if pitch stacked well, can go off for 70 damage in a turn.
70 damage. That's that's wild. That's so cool.
And the fact that it came down to really whether they used the bracers or not to load that final endless arrow is crazy, isn't it? I mean, if you load the arrow with the bracers, you get the extra point of damage. If you've looked at the armor that's left and calculated, added in the shield and a 3-card block and a block 3 card, then
he could have got over by 1. Then
he could have got over by 1, got the endless arrow back, and then been away for 8 per arrow, not able to stop it. Using the Death Dealer to recur, reload, and get cards back. It would have been really interesting.
That would have been so exciting. Right, so we are back on, and Duofenel is now coming in with an E-Strike for, I believe it would be a 7 again. Just trying to get that damage over. Blocking with probably 2 cards, taking 1 damage. This is where we're getting to the point of the game now. Oh, okay. So he's using the Oldham Ice React
And a
to
staunch response.
and a staunch response. Okay, that's
So
fine.
he's preventing his opponent from having an arsenal.
Okay,
Are we seeing something? Are we seeing a setup for a play here? What have we
I
got?
I
Just a
think he
sledge
did that to just probably disrupt the flow of his second
of his
cycle,
pitch
right?
stack. Yeah.
Just to be able to put that card back on top means that you're now not going to you're going to be one card down, if that makes sense. Because if you're trying to pitch deck your cards in a certain way, and then in the end you're going to get those cards back in a certain way, for every time you're ice reacting, you're losing one of the cards. So
Absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
going to jank up um the flow of getting that second cycle just a bit. I mean, if that is what Danny R is considering doing, if he is, that's like big brain stuff. And everyone's, oh no, the sledge count's gone down. We're stuck. Duofano was on 12 sledges and Danny R was on 10 from my count. So everyone's opting to now playing the cards. Ugh.
It seems to be a sign
This
that
is
we
not what I
are
signed up for.
reaching that stack.
E-Strike coming in for, I believe, 7, is it, Simon? Or was it a go again?
I think that's a 7.
Yeah.
Got one card
okay.
left.
Yeah, it's got to be a 7, right? Sink below coming in, blocking 4. Is there going to be a
Again,
second?
slotting a card on the bottom of the deck.
Yeah.
Oh, 5 go
Oh,
again into sledge. There you go.
sledge count. Bear with
Nicely
me,
done.
everyone. Bear with me, everyone. We are moving into the round with 13 sledge swings. Like I said, doesn't matter to me. Whoever gets the most leg swings is the winner to me, no matter the health total.
Or an odd man, Hamish.
Look, right. Don't judge. Don't judge.
There's no judgment here. Never
Oh,
any
good,
judgment.
good. I was going to say, man. And it's interesting as well, Rouse the Ancients being pitched up as well for that second cycle come round.
It can be a very useful card, eh? Especially
It
if you've got a higher density of your big attacks, then it's going to be definitely usable later on in the game.
Absolutely. I
But
think
you've got to get there.
Daniel's working out as well what he wants his next turn to be. Whether he's just going to chuck one card on this and take 3 damage so that he can ultimately present back with a sledge. He hasn't got a tunic to fall back on. He hasn't got a crown of seeds to filter through any cards now. So I don't imagine he's going to be sitting there taking the full 6 because that's a lot of damage. But to be
It is a
fair,
lot of damage to take. But he's already blocked with 1 card. Depends what his plan for the next turn is. Unfortunately, because of the stream that we're watching, I can't see what's in either hand.
no, we're not sure. We're not able to see what's happening on that front.
I think we're going to see at least a 1 card block. As you say, I don't think Danny R wants to drop below Dwarfenel's health. We're coming in with the sledge.
Oh baby, the sledge. Danny R's closing the gap now on 11 sledge swings with 2 floating resources. Oh, could it be the pummel? Probably no, it's not.
What could it be? Another Zealous
okay.
belting. So, Dwarfenel's taken all of it.
Oh, he has. Yes, he has taken all of it so that he can come in
He
with
can
a
come
big
back
swing
with a
back
big turn.
himself.
So we've got Zealous belting into a sledge for 11,
Mm.
potentially. I may be misreading.
It's probably going to be a sledge, right? I mean, but if you're going to take all that damage,
It's got to be better than that, right?
probably. Maybe you could have blocked with 1 card. No, I don't believe you could. No, I don't know. Maybe you could. You could have blocked with 1 card. Pitch the card, plays that, and then you could have blocked with 1 card, but maybe not. Maybe he was also trying to set up his arsenal as well, right?
Yeah.
So Danny R's just having to think about what he's going to do to block. He's just going to chuck in a Spinal Crush to block with that, taking 2 damage.
And the sledge.
And then the sledge. Come on, man. Give me 14 sledges, Duofanel.
Going to see a defense reaction here.
Maybe.
If he ice reacts him, he won't be able to do the sledge necessarily. Oh, he's
That is no, but that's the thing. He can. No, he is.
Okay.
He's going to go in for an ice react. Duofanel's having a think because I think he wanted to put. He took that damage to put a card in Arsenal. To be fair.
He's pummeling.
Oh, he's going for the pummel. Jeez. Right. Okay. Baiting him out.
So we're now up to 9 damage.
Yeah.
Did he put a card on top? Or is he's responded to that trigger by playing the attack reaction, sorry. So he now has no cards left and doesn't have to put one on top. My mistake. So we're seeing damage taken, 6 damage taken, and a loss of a card in hand. That, I think, could turn the tempo, because now Daniar's had to pass turn.
Okay.
On 11 plays 10, I think. Unless he had the D-react. Sorry, maybe I've missed a D-react.
I think we might have missed a defense reaction. Unless they just haven't updated their health total quite yet.
That is also an option. But I think because of the stream lag that we're getting, it's tricky to see the exact plays.
So,
if you're watching this, by the way, welcome to the second semi-final. We're quite a way through. We weren't expecting to stream this match. It's a bit of an added bonus. So thanks for joining us on this particular match. It does guarantee a Briar Oldham final. We saw Briar Mirror as the first semi, and then an Oldham Mirror as the second semi.
Like I said, everyone, the first match, I said get your kettle on, because by the time the kettle's boiled, the match will be over. This time around, I'm saying get your slow cooker on, because by the time that chicken is cooked, this game will be over. Duofanel is on his 14th sledge swing. He is
you're
breaking
loving this, aren't you?
He's breaking the lead now. 14 sledge swings. Daniar's blocking for 3, maybe another block, maybe a defense reaction. No, just blocking for 3, taking 3 damage. That's fine.
Let's see what we've got then. There's something in Arsenal there that's going to be worthwhile.
This is actually the point of the game in the Oldham matchups where things are going to start getting like a mountain to climb. Right, we've got a Oldham, so not an Oldham, an Oakenold. Believe it's fused. It is fused. So we've got an Oakenold fuse coming in for 9. Duofanel has got the seeds and some equipment. So I wouldn't imagine that this would be a problem for him.
You can get 5 or 6 out of the equipment without too much of an issue. Just depends how much tempo he wants to lose, whether he thinks he's on to a good turn coming up.
Yeah. If Danny has also managed to keep hold of a... No, he wouldn't be able to keep hold of a pummel because he needs to fuse with those 2 cards. So he knows that this is it.
I didn't see which cards he fused with, but if one of them was the pulse, then there is potentially a pummel.
Yeah, that would be wild.
He's blocked with the Ironhide legs and a staunch response. No problems.
Oh man. Okay. That doesn't surprise me that that would have been blocked up fine. But that's a lot of equipment usage. But yeah, I don't believe he's used his creative fist either. Oh my boy, he's coming back. He's breaking the lead now.
He's back up with the sledge count.
Oh, he's 4 ahead. 15 sledge swings. This is...
I mean, we're 20 turns in and he's used his He's used his sledge 15 times. This is stunning.
This is some hyper results here. Actually, that's a good point. It tells you how many turns we've been through at the minute. And he's definitely been playing cards. 15 sledge swings. My goodness me. Okay. Daniel's working out now whether with his 0 Arsenal attack, if he blocks with 2 cards, he's just gonna. I mean, he could pitch 1 blue card and Tunic just to come back with a search. But we're getting around to the second cycle now. This is where the cards are going to have some value, right? How much of these big cards are you going to use to block up Sledge, right? This is the question.
This is the question everyone wants to know the answer to.
This is important stuff for everyone. So many nationals going on all at the same time as well. We've got
Great,
this
isn't
amazing.
it?
It is. It's exciting. The Netherlands one's happening, and later on it'll be the US nationals. We're currently hosting this absolutely amazing Polish nationals. So much fun. Oh, I tell you what's more
It's a good
fun.
season, isn't it?
It is. I tell you what's more fun. Seeing another sledge swing. Oh God, we're on 12. Danny's on 12 sledge
Don't
swings.
get too excited, buddy. Don't get too excited.
My heart is racing right now. I am over the moon. But this is it. These sledge swings are actually now. Before when we're starting this up, there were just helm filtering cards. We're just pushing through, just trying to push through. This is now where things are getting a little bit crunchy. And Girafanel, is he actually going to use his seeds? We are.
Oh,
Okay.
seeds,
Whoa, we got a
Crown of
seeds trigger.
activation. Whoa.
I think this is his first seeds trigger as well. Oof.
Well, at least he still has a crown of seeds,
This is true. This would probably be potentially the deal breaker here, because we've got a 4 block, which is effectively, think of it like the defense reaction. Right?
Has he got the fused Okanol to come back with it? Is that what he was searching for? Was he after a fused card? Zealous.
No, I think he's after just trying to pressure with big turns here. So another Zealous into probably potentially the sledge, or is he going to bait him out and pummel him again? But his health total is getting a bit low on 8. Yeah. And I know that Oldham can be quite a hard person to just try and get over. But 8 to 14. 14 is it's a really large number of, you think it isn't when it comes to when you watch Briar or anything else, you blink and it'll be gone. But with Oldham, it's a mountain of a number to try and chip down. Daniel's obviously having a real long think about what his strategies is. I believe we're getting through to the point as well where we're running out of defense reactions and the pummels have been pitched.
Yeah, I definitely think we're back onto that second cycle now. You can see the graveyards just stacking up a bit higher than the actual deck.
Yeah. And I believe maybe the seeds is creating more problems than we think, because that whatever card he's going to fling into that arsenal, it has to count.
There, right? Yeah,
it has to count.
You can't just cycle it away.
Whereas Girafanel's got, let's do it. He's got ample room to just pick and choose. It's fine. This doesn't need to be here right now. I can block with it for 1, but not actually lose the card. As I'm explaining how seeds works, which is obvious, it just makes me remember.
It's not obvious. I think it's good to just revisit some of these cards. I think yesterday we reminded people that seeds can only be used on face down cards in Arsenal. So if you've, as a Guardian, obviously heaved a card into Arsenal face up, you can't use Crown on it. And yeah, just reminding people where that damage trigger or damage prevention trigger goes is important sometimes.
Absolutely. But I think as well, it just highlights how amazing that card is, just in general. I think it's one of the strongest cards in the game. It goes to also show as well that with all of these heroes that we are seeing cropping up into these top 8s and nationals, the It just goes to show how amazingly strong Tales of Aria is as a set.
Absolutely.
You
We've
know.
seen Briar doing extremely well, Oldham doing extremely well. Even the right Lexi build can do well.
Lexi in this meta has been touch and go. I haven't really seen Lexi perform very well in this meta. Okay, so we've got a block for 3, and we've got a Oldham Ice React.
It looks like an Ice React with a Winter's Bite pitched.
Yeah, so it's going to make Jiffin out. Oh, okay, so he's chucking a card back on top. That's fine, not a problem. Sledge, my boy. 16 sledges. I've actually got a little post note, and I am writing down the amount of times so I don't forget. Which is going to do some. It's going to do some good damage. It's going to leave Daniel probably. I think he just had to just block up there, which is now gives him to draw back up, and Jurfenau is coming in with an Oakenold. And I believe he is fused it. If he is, the chat's going to see it before we are, because we've got screenshots. We've got some major delay. We see the card come down. We don't necessarily see what happens for another 8 or so seconds.
It looks like we might not have another equipment block and a defense reaction.
Yeah, maybe that's what he was waiting for. That defense reaction was just sitting there.
Little staunch response waiting.
Yeah, just waiting for that Oakenol to come down. And a sledge. Oh, here we go. I think I'm actually got myself so more excited to seeing the sledges now, to be honest. Like, when you're committed to something now, you're committed.
You are very committed, Hamish.
I am very committed to seeing how many sledge swings are, because I'm actually curious who is going to swing the sledge the most. And if it ends with a tie, then, well, there you go. There you go.
What we need is a series of data points on older mirrors and see if there's any correlation between number of sledge swings and the win.
Yeah, that'll actually be pretty interesting. And I bet you somewhere down the line, someone's going to go, you know what? That is actually the make or break of a game of an older mirror. It's how many sledges do you swing?
Of course, correlation is no indication of causation, but
okay.
Well, that's a random correlation.
It could be. Oh, he's gonna with the pummel.
He's pummeled him.
Oh my god! I'm giving it a P. I'm giving these Daniels 13 with 1 P. 1 pummel.
It's going to take 3 damage down to 5. Is that? No, 4
no,
damage.
I think that's a 4. So it's down to 4 health. Daniel is not letting up.
Now in kill range.
Oh, this
how
is
much can you play around the pummel?
We're at scary times here now. But then there is always
exciting.
It is exciting. So we're playing a Winter's Bite. Sorry. So he is going to pitch up that 1. That resource is going to be wasted effectively. Resource does nothing. There's no crown to use it on.
He's not got tunic to pay for it.
No, there's no shield. So this is effectively taking a card out of their hand. This is good. But he's got 11 health, so he's got room. He's got wiggle room to just take this to the face. Jurfenau is on his 17th sledge swing. But he's got 1 floating resource. No, he's used the tunic for that as well. I believe he's got a card floating about. I believe, maybe not. Not sure. Maybe he's got his own pummel.
Well, there is.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So he's got a staunch response. And that is what the extra resources is going to be used for. Okay.
Can't complain with that. That's a nice tidy block.
No, that is an extremely tidy block.
And then we see the tunic tick up and a pitch for the sledge. Potentially a pummel to go in Arsenal.
Yes. Jurfenau's now sitting there quite. His health total is his health total is a little low. He is a little low for this, but he's got a healthy amount of armor. Okay, so he's blocking up 3. He's not going down to 1, surely not. No. Chat, you're going to see this before we are. So because we saw the
Down,
one card get
down to
thrown down.
3.
Down to 3.
Has he played
Okay.
So tomorrow
He did. He played Sotonawa from
to go and
Arsenal.
get an Okanol back to put on the bottom of his deck?
Right. Okay. So he is still setting up
And
for that longer play to him down to that. I mean, we've got an Azalea into top 8. I mean, this is. I don't think we can.
It's made a lot
emphasize
of
how
people
crazy.
very happy.
Yeah, so good.
What we'll probably see here is at least a 1-card block. Depending on the hand he's got no Arsenal, so he just needs to keep putting on that pressure. Like every sledge now has to be blocked with 2 cards by Duofanel, so he just got to keep up the pressure.
It's interesting actually that the exposed elements taking out the crown of seeds. It's obviously we thought it was a major impactful thing, and it most definitely is going forward. But I haven't seen Gina Fennell doing really any seeds activations himself that much. So I can imagine it probably would have turned the other way around, where if he said, "Oh, you blew up my seeds," it would have been like, "Oh, it's fine. I'm not going to use it that much." Because I think he's only activated it once. Maybe it doesn't count until maybe around about now, maybe. Who knows? But he's got no cards in Arsenal, I don't believe. Yeah, he hasn't got any cards in Arsenal. Daniel's coming in with his 15th sledge. He's got 2 floating. He is baiting out that pummel. What do you reckon, Simon?
He's got to threaten it, hasn't he?
He does.
I think he has to threaten it, and he has to try and draw the overblock. If he can do that, he should be in a good position on the next turn. However, Duofanel's game stops pretty much right now if he can't maintain enough to come back with the sledge, I think.
Yeah, the second he has to pass up a turn.
I mean, everyone knows that signal. 2 floating, card in hand. You have to respect the pummel. We've only seen 1.
Yeah, that is true. But I remember Trip was saying that in the stream, I think, and probably it was just earlier on today in the morning, where someone could actually just be sitting there really overthinking their hand, and then by doing that, it makes you think this guy really wants to keep this pummel.
Yeah, exactly.
but he doesn't actually have it the whole time. Oh, okay. So finally, the CNC is coming into full force with no crown of seeds to mitigate anything. Okay, so Dania is Dania's opting to go down to 1 with him. Okay.
Okay. This is it now.
This has got to be it, right? This has got to be it.
This has to be the play.
Oh man, what a grind fest we're on. Oh. But Jurfanel has got he got any cards in Arsenal? No.
Sledge on sledge
not.
action now.
Sledge on sledge action. Yeah,
so
I don't know
2
who's
floating, two floating, 1 in Arsenal. Does he respect the pummel? Doesn't have a card in Arsenal.
Oh my days, Danny R.
Does he try?
He's blocking for 6, and he's probably just saying, "If you got it, you got it."
Yeah, I think that's what I'd be saying right now.
If you got it, you got it.
And we see a sledge come back the other way.
Oh my goodness me! We're on 20 sledges, everyone. We've done it. We've made it, everyone.
Made it to 20 sledges.
20. It takes 20 sledges and a load of attacks to get that other hold him down to 1 HP. And he hasn't played any pummels on the sledge either, whereas Daniel's played 1 pummel. Which probably means is he got a pummel floating about? Has he? Can't have, surely not.
No, because he had to
he's
block 2 cards. So he has nothing floating. We just need to see a
Yeah. I tell you what, I'd say Daniel's doing a fantastic job with no seeds on on his side. He's really making his he's going back to the Bravo, right? Where got to really make this Arsenal count.
Absolutely. Is it going to be a defense reaction? Is he going to play the defense reaction from Arsenal?
It's a big,
Keep a 3-card hand.
yeah.
It's really.
I don't know at this point now. He might do. I still think he's holding on to. I think he's holding on for a pummel return. I'll be honest. I can smell the pummel from here. But would he have had that? Yeah, but
Smell it.
I can smell it. Did he have the pummel in there last turn? I'm trying to remember.
A couple of turns ago, yeah.
I've
seen 2 red pummels.
I've also got the Nationals in Netherlands stream going on at the same time, as well as getting the US one as well. It is all going off. Netherlands has currently got Oldhim and Viceroy on at the same time as well. So Oldhim is really doing some work in this national season. Clearly the number one hero for this season.
Interesting. I think there were a lot of 5s
There
in
was.
the US. Poland's been dominated by Breyer. The UK was a lot of 5, a lot of Breyer,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of Oldham. It's such an open meta.
But I mean, we had an Oldham in the final in the UK Nats as
We
well.
did, yeah.
We did, yeah. So Hello, everyone, and we are back. We have got the final with Dania on Oldham and Inazumi on Briar. Can we see Briar win a Nationals to get more points on the Living Legends and solidify Inazumi, who I believe, from what I remember what Simon's saying, he got into the final of the Pro Tour in Lille? Or will Daniel, the man that's been absolutely crushing it on the stream with Oldham, will he get a comeback and be the new Polish national champion? We'll find out. Simon just nipped out just real quickly. You've got me. So we're starting this up with a grasp. Arsenal passing up. Moving over to Daniel now. It's coming straight in with a spinal crush. Inazumi is working out what his next moves are. Working out whether he wants to block this or not. It's been wild. So he's blocked in for the full 9, I believe. Might have taken 2 damage there. Okay, right. So it wasn't a full 9 block. It was a 7 block, taking 2. So Scar for Scar coming in now with a Rune Chant dealing 1 arcane damage. Simon is here. We're locked in. So
We are locked in, ready to go.
We are here. So Inazumi is started his turn making a Rune Chant Arsenal pass. Daniel came back with a Spinal Crush for 9. Inazumi blocked for 7, taking 2. Now here we are. Scar for Scar for 4. Go again because he's gone lower health and 1 arcane. Daniel's just working out how he wants to approach this this attack.
This is a very, very well trodden battle between Briar and Oldham. Oldham running Null-Rune 1 on the boots and the Crown of Seeds, and he will try and prevent as much damage as possible to enable the Crown and the Null-Rune to stop the Rosetta pings for 2. Winter's Wail, obviously, to present damage and a frostbite off of a blue pitch, and then Stalagmite offers not only a 2 block and a 1 block, but also frostbites to maybe prevent even more damage, just stopping the Briar turn in their tracks.
Sure. Seems like he just took the 1 arcane blocked up, and he's now coming back in with a E-strike for himself. E-strike for 7, it seems.
Yeah, he's taken some of that damage. And G-Tome. Nice early non-attack action, draws a card, replaces itself. Looks like it was followed up with a non-attack action to get the go again from the embodiment of lightning.
And it looks like he's got a
Bramble Spark, maybe.
Bramble Spark, possibly, yeah. So
1 plus 7.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Card draw on hit and go again.
And 2 arcane as well. 2 arcane. 1 from the Bramble Sparks, 1 from the Rune Chant. Oh, what a rude turn. What a rude turn. It's also coming in, it's also in as well. I don't know whether I said, but the Oldham has just beat the Viceroy, so that was the final. So Oldham has won the Netherlands. We've moved over on at the same time. We've got the US Nationals on as well, and I think the Phi has just beat the Briar. So I think that huge Briar getting into Living Legends is starting to slip away now massively. I don't think it will be enough, even if Inazumi does become the Polish national champion.
Yeah.
I just don't see Briar living in legend now. That dream is slowly going away. Oldham is being king. But moving forward, anyway, we're working out this. Oh, we've got a blizzard. Okay. That's going to absolutely jam up the turn.
So only 1 resource remaining.
He's got tunic.
However, if he doesn't block it, he still gets the card draw. But
that's true.
He won't have go again because he can't afford to pay for the go again.
Well, he has got a tunic, so he could Tunic,
Okay,
get the
yeah.
2, and appears that he is not going to do that.
Just going to take the card draw, do the damage.
Yeah.
Oh no, so the 1 arcane has gone through. He's created an embodiment of Earth.
Okay,
He's
so
he's chosen not to pay.
Oh, okay, sure. So we're just going through the arcane damage spec.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So Oakenhold is now blocking for 3. Is he going to take the 4? I believe he is. He's going to take the 4, and he's going to draw a card from that and pass up his turn. That's not bad. Like, I think for an Olden player, that's fine, right? You know, the on-hit effect is no big deal. Oh, CNC. Okay.
He got the card draw, had a card in arsenal, and then got CNC'd immediately.
Yeah, that's it. Oof. Okay. But with embodiment effort, that's fine. Okay, that's not a problem. He's just going to throw the crown of providence in front of that. Oh, in the pummel! Oh, days. Okay, he is definitely making sure he is pushing through that damage, and he's going to have a 4-card hand. Oh my word!
That's huge. A pummeled CNC is just the worst thing for an opposing player.
What a
It's exactly
combination!
what Oldham needed
What a combination!
to bring the tempo back to them. They're gonna have a much easier time of keeping that pressure on if they draw well on the next turn.
Absolutely, absolutely. That crown of providence was going to be huge, and that pummels just turned it into mush, basically. Although the Briar can still come back with some mad turns, but not as ideally. These are the sort of turns that Briar really needs. He needs to have those big 5-card turns just so he can really push it over the line and deliver something really awkward for Oldham to deal with. So fantastic play by Daniel. An arcane rising classic, as they may say. CNC pummel, old as time.
I think for Inazumi to really get back in this match quickly, he's going to need a Channelman heroic turn.
Oh yeah,
ASAP.
big time.
It is good to see that Amulet of Earth down though. That can present a bit of an issue later on.
Yeah, and the Scar for Scar, making that count. His health total is lower, so 4 go again. Daniar's doing it's fine. He's just blocking for 3, taking 1. Triggering Briar's errated version. Imagine Briar not being errated, man. And all those Earth embodiments, they would present.
Imagine
a
having
problem.
5 embodiments of Earth and then blocking 7 with every 2 block non-attack action.
Okay. We've got a Gloom now, which is fine. That's exactly what he wanted to see.
So
that.
Having the embodiment of Earth gives it go again.
Yeah, because he's created an aura this turn. Okay, these are the sort of big swing moves that he needed to get. And then he's probably, he's going to end with the Rosetta because that Amulet of Earth is going to be doing, he's going to be getting that trigger going for Rosetta. Daniel's is working out what his next moves are going to be. How much damage does he need to take? His health total is fine, but he needs to keep that, even though that he's ahead on life, he still needs to make sure that life total is ahead because he's not the aggressor here. Okay, yeah. Blocking for 3, Oldham, Ice React. Put that card away, Sunny Jim. Not a problem, good sir. I have a tunic.
A really good turn off of a short hand, to be fair.
I think he just didn't want him to have an arsenal.
Yeah. And do you know what? Your vision of Viscerai and Briar, if you manage to get 3 attacks in a turn as a Rune Blade, you're happy, aren't you? As a base.
Yeah, this is what makes them kind of premium heroes for Flesh and Blood. It's the fact that they're able to come out with turns that are bigger than most, with damage output which is above average with that many attacks it's crazy. You just don't get them as much. Not like Fi does. They can just get them for free. getting 6 or 7 attack chains just
But when
because.
they do come in, they're split damage, so it's
Yeah,
much trickier to block.
absolutely. So it looks like the Oldham player just sort of passed his turn up there, and Inazumi is coming in for looks like I can't read what that card is. I think it's an evergreen. I think it's an evergreen.
Really tricky one to spot, but it does look like the deer on evergreen.
It does look like the deer. It depends what color it is as well. I imagine it's red. It could be blue.
Played from Arsenal, was it?
If it played from Arsenal, that would be fine. It's obviously just had a poor, an alignment of cards which isn't ideal. He's just presenting some damage just to give Oldham a bit of it. It's just to throw some damage stuff. I need to set up something better for next turn and hope I don't have to deal with a pretty nasty attack from Daniel. So
It's important for Oldham. Yeah, sorry, I was going to say I think it's important for Oldham to try and keep some life here, not take too much.
Okay.
But he needs to be able to push back. He needs to get the tempo back. The pummeled CNC has way. Yeah, this is the sort of thing you need.
Yeah.
A nice
Okay.
choke slam. Stop any shenanigans with added non-attack
And
actions and
2 floating. The 2 floating bait. Have you got it? Have you got it? We'll see. Looks like he doesn't have it. He's just blocking for 3, taking the full amount of damage from that, putting him down to 21.
crush is an effect.
It is. I'm trying to remember what the chokeslam crush effect does.
You can't add any. You can't add
Buff?
any attack to your attacks. Yeah,
Oh, so there's no buffing going on.
no buffing.
That's pretty important actually for Briar because that's kind of her whole thing. So I think we've seen our final scar for Scar now. Really maximizing, making sure that his health total is not too low, but really making sure that the Scarf Scars count. And that's getting blocked for 3, taking the 1 damage, gets the embodiment of Earth Trigger going.
Making sure that all of them have had go again is good.
Oh, okay. Is that one come from Arsenal? Yes, it has. It's got go again on it. Doing the classic, as Simon said. Getting as many attacks as possible. We haven't seen a non-attack action card being played, so Rosetta isn't triggered yet. Really wants to get that going. Daniel's having a real long think about whether he wants to block this up or not, because obviously this is now getting to the point where he's going to be able to present something meaningful back, and it's also just giving Briar more room to continue with these big turns.
And quite rightly, didn't need to block the whole choke slam. If you're not going to be adding any power to your attacks, so might just play out the non-attack action towards the end to give Rosetta the +2 arcane. But for now, 4+4, both with go again, is not a bad start.
That's not bad at all. So that's blocking up within Awesom's touch, taking another 1 damage. What is Inazumi going to consider next? I mean, it'd be pretty wild if he had an amulet of Earth. Oh, okay. Exude confidence for 4. So it's all good. Doesn't need to fire the Rosetta. Just a 4, then 4, then 4. Nice 12 damage turn. And this is the point now where Daniel's again in that real spot of going, what do I do? Do I take this 4, present something meaningful back? No, he's going to block for 3, take 1.
And is he going to snaps, or is it too early? It's probably too early.
No, he doesn't need to snaps yet. There's no non-attack action card being played. I think that's fine to just leave that card in Arsenal now. And then probably recognizing that Daniel is going to most likely swing back with Winter's Whale. And yeah, we're
A fast-paced game so far. It's 21 health each. So it's good to see a bit of damage traded back and forth.
Yeah, it is. All thanks to the fact that it's Briar. Because Oldham is obviously going to make this matchup really slow, but Briar is fantastic at making sure that damage will get through. So the pace of the game has happened. And Simon, we are here. We have arrived.
Game over.
Oh, I don't know. It's not game
No,
over yet.
I'm joking.
GG, everyone. It's here. Channel Mount Heroics out. Pack up your things. But no, this is going to be huge. But
However,
then Stalagmite, it's going to be showing it's going to be showing a lot of work, I think, in this. This is the moment where Stalagmite is going to make the
so he's got
Inazumi's.
nothing. He's got nothing floating. If a blizzard comes in or if a stalagmite comes in, this could really throw off the turn. Be interesting to see if he's got another non-attack action to get an embodiment of lightning at all, or whether he's just hoping to play out another attack action cheaply.
I think he's fine with this as long as he can present enough big damage, and he's got enough. He's got the pitch to keep the channel mount now. So, it's another turn of +3 to everything.
Yeah, got to keep it around if you can.
Yeah, and we've got. It was an Nimbalism that's flipped, so he knows that the next turn is going to be another. Oh, it's going to be really, really high damage. Daniel's probably not liking this at the minute.
As the Briar player, you have to maximize these turns against Oldham. Although the Oldham hasn't necessarily been blocking out, not going for a real fatigue or a real slow burn tactic. They have been quite aggressive and they have been taking a bit more damage than maybe an older school Oldham might. With the hope that they can come back and then force disruption with the choke clams, with your CNCs, with other crush effect cards like Spinal Crush that are going to really affect the game.
Absolutely. It's been. So he's had to take us a lot of damage on this one. Lightning Surge coming in for 7 again. I don't believe this has a go again. I don't think
I
it
don't
does.
think that was played from Arsenal, no.
So it's just a casual 14 damage turn with 2 cards. Casually.
Casual.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, not 2 cards. He had to pitch and play out the Channel Man Heroic. So
that's true. Two card attack. That's fine.
Yeah,
14
2
damage.
attacks.
Yeah, it's normal play here. 0 for 7. Channel Mount Heroic, man. Such a card.
Great card. Great card.
I think blocking for 3. I honestly think blocking for 3's pushed it over the edge. If it was just blocking for 2, I think that card would be a little bit more fairer.
Yeah, having a with Briar's embodiments, having a 4 block as well is huge.
Yeah, it does too much work. I mean,
Although,
I think its downside is pitch red, right?
We're now seeing a tear asunder into Winter's Whale for 5 dominate.
Okay, but that's not
we still have grasp available, so
that's not a problem. Has he got a card in hand? He doesn't. There's no way you can pummel this. So yeah, no, this is fine. This is fine. He can block. Yeah, blocks with the captain's cool, and if that's blocking for 3.
Making the most of the embodiment. Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. And he's got a 3-card hand channel still up. If he can fuse, he's got the Amulet of Earth also.
That's true.
Firing there as well.
A nice little attack reaction style addition damage. We see another rabble for 7. Can't complain, eh?
Goodness.
Must be nice.
Must be nice. Must be nice.
So still got 2 cards in hand. Channel still up. Haven't had to pitch anything yet. I wonder if we've got We've seen all the scars. We've seen 2 Ravels. So I wonder if we've just got another 0 for 4 Entwined Lightning with a Lightning Fuse, maybe?
The potentials are endless. It's all on Daniel now. It's getting these blocks done right. Yeah,
Well,
I was waiting for this.
yeah.
The Stalagmite. Stalagmite coming in. Have a Frostbite. Blocking for 2. Taking 5? No.
No.
Blocking for 6. Taking 1. Have
But
a
still
Frostbite.
getting your embodiment.
Yeah. But at the minute, he's gonna need to pitch 2 Earth cards to keep this around. Really don't see this happening. It's just gonna be pushing over some more damage.
Even paying 1 for the Frostbite to do 7 threat and 7 damage is cool.
Okay, so we
Earth
are
react as well.
Earth react as well, so no damage coming through at the minute, and then he's got 1 prevention coming up. I believe Inazumi has just said that's cool, bro. Gonna leave it here. Arsenal draw back up. Oldham hasn't got anything left on his turn. He will have to draw back up as well. Or no, he doesn't. No,
Another Terrace Under into Whale.
He's got another Terrace Under into a Whale. Oh man. Okay. Harder to block this time round now. Much harder to deal with. He's going to have to give up that Tunic, I believe, unless he's got a defense reaction, which I don't believe he will. Don't think that's.
And he didn't get an embodiment on the last turn either.
No.
So no cheeky 4 blocks.
I think that's what Daniel was planning on. Of going, you not getting that embodiment is more important at the minute. Which is a very good read. It's a very good read. And I think he just took it. I think
that's probably the right call. Depending on what's in your hand, having to get rid of 2 cards, it's not a massive issue. If you can do that. 7 damage, 2 cards, 7 damage.
Nimblism into a
Coaxic Commotion.
That's it. So that was the Nimblism that he flipped up on the last Rabble turn. And if we've got this right, I don't know what cards he's discarded from that Terrace Under turn. We've also saw an E-Strike get flipped up as well. So he does have 2 cards left. He could snappies this and then E-Strike for 7. Possibly. But
have 2 cards left in hand. It just has 1 card left.
Oh, does he got 1 card left? Yeah. I thought he had a card in Arsenal.
I think, I think he's just going to put this card in Arsenal.
Yes. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
He's going to make a Quicken Token, I would say.
Yeah, Quicken Token would probably be good. Don't need to do the health. Or maybe nothing. Maybe just want to keep to the damage. Just want to give Oldham a Quicken Token. All right, CNC for 6. 1 float in. Tunic counter up.
Yeah.
Simon.
Pummel watch.
Pummel. Oh,
he's taking it.
There's no pummels. He called
no
his
hesitation.
He called his hesitation. And went, pummel me then. Can
he do the 8 damage? He's going to start with a Channelman Heroic. Of course he is.
God.
Is that a Channelman Heroic? Maybe it's just an Earthlore Surge.
I think it's an
Earthlore Surge. Sorry. I got excited.
Oh, goodness me.
Earthlore Surge into a Ravenous Rabble, the 3rd one, coming in for 7.
Oh, is that blue? That's why. Oh, he flipped a blue up. -.
Blue Weaver coming at you when you didn't want it.
That is not what you wanted to see at this time. But still, another 2 more damage. That would have been. I think that would have been. Simon, why do I feel like that blue Earthlore Surge is going to be.
Blue Weave Earth.
The blue Weave Earth, sorry, is going to be the reason why Inazumi is going to struggle later on. Maybe. But I've always noticed that the blue Weave Earth minusing 2 damage off was the reason they couldn't close out the game.
It could well be.
Maybe not. But 2 more damage at this point, especially Oldham. 2 more damage is crucial.
It is huge. It's the difference between Rosetta finishing things off and not.
Pretty much. And Oldham has still got all of his equipment as well. So even though he's on 8, it's a high mountain to climb to try and take that last 8 out. It's the players having a think.
Daniel's gone in the tank here. I mean, this is threatening lethal. There's lightning presses in that deck, right? They're potentially, at least. So does he block, and how much? He's still got all his equipment available. He may well crown. He may well stalagmite. Although 2 cards in hand, I don't think there's as much benefit to stalagmite right now.
Ooh. Just outside of this game, while Daniel is chilling in his think tank, we have had I've just seen the matchup into the US Nationals. I believe Michael Hamilton versus Ryan Rich in the quarterfinals. Michael Hamilton's on Icelander and Ryan Rich is on Oldhim, and I believe Michael Hamilton just beat Oldhim. So
I believe he didn't even play any arcane damage until Oldham was below 20 health.
Yeah, Wounding Bull and
Find those fighting spirits.
Yeah, gosh, apps. Tell you what, there's 2 decks that are coming out of this Nationals that is going to be making everyone, or maybe 3 actually, making everyone's eyebrows rise and go, wow, okay. One of them was definitely Michael Hamilton's Wounding Bull Icelander deck. The other one, definitely this Icelander Azalea getting into the top 8.
Yeah,
absolutely crazy. And then as well, George Rogers getting Fi into the final.
What do you think about the Crazy Life Gain Dash as well that got into the top 8 of the US?
It's crazy. I'll say that. I watched it. I watched him gain 26 life before he was eventually fied to death.
Crazy.
I was like, that's a lot of healing you're doing, bro. Just keep doing ones. Keep doing ones. Yeah, he just couldn't keep up in the end. Really, he's got into the top 8. It's definitely been a Nationals of wild decks, I have to say. Decks I just didn't see coming out the gate. I believe that the Nationals we're seeing now in the Zumi versus Deniar, there's pretty safe, right? Yeah, pretty safe heroes. Stuff we're seeing, nothing out there that's really shaking things up on the deck tech fronts. But yeah, but still, the Polish Nationals still had something quite crazy and special.
Spicy,
with
a bit of Azalea.
Azalea. Oh, that huge combo turn. Jeez,
we all wanted it.
We all wanted it. We all wanted to see it. Daniel, though, in the final.
Was the first hero I started collecting, actually.
It was the second hero that I was interested in. There was 2 heroes that I was going to pique my interest to play in this game. One of them was my boy Viserai, obviously. And then the other one is, Azalea. Right, we've got a block.
We have a block.
We have a 6 block. And
plus Crown of Seeds, yeah.
Plus Crown of Seeds. Okay, so we've got a full 7 block, have a Frostbite token. This is the last of the Stalagmite. Would you be happy now?
Yeah, I am happy. As Inazumi here, he's got 2 cards in hand. He's got 1 resource floating. At worst, he comes in for 4 damage off the Rosetta here. Oh, and we've ice reacted as well. So he's got now 1 card in hand.
Okay, yeah. He's gonna just pitch up there and present more damage. Daniel's doing, I believe, a fantastic attempt of just making sure that we're dismantling everything that Briar can do, 1 piece at a time, and just really make it difficult to just land huge hits. But in the Zumi, he's just keeping the pressure up, man.
I think this is key. He's forced 2 cards out of the Oldham's hand already. Can he get him down to 4 health, or can he get another card out of his hand? And he's got him down to
5. Yeah, he's took the
5.
whole lot now.
4.
He's
4.
down to 4. Down to 4. He's took it. He's took him right down. Okay, so what is he going to return with? Probably our icy hammer for 4. Icy hammer for 4. It's not a sledge. It's not as cool as sledge. It's like that. Do you like what I did there? Cool.
Not as cool
Not
as a
as cool.
sledge.
Well, it is actually cooler than a sledge because
Ice cold, some might say.
Okay, he's having a think. Which card is he going to pitch? Will it be an icy one? Will it be? Oh no, it's an E-strike. Okay, right. Just so you know, we're watching this at frame time. So just imagine a bootleg DVD of you see the image, and then we're moving on to the next scene. E-strike for 7.
E-strike for 7 off 2-card hand.
Oh no,
Not
block! Taking
bad.
3. Oh, he's down to 3.
Down to 3. Has he got the hand to finish him
Come
off?
on, has he got the hand? Okay, we have got the deer. Oh no, what have we got?
No,
Force of nature.
It could be.
Force of nature.
Force of nature, if it was fused, that would make it +1. Yeah, he's fused it. Force of
he has.
nature, fused. No go again, but he's got snappies up. So if it hits, it draws a card. He can boost the power of the attack by pitching, and he can give it go again with snaps.
The plays. And he's
No
fused it.
no defense reactions unless you defend with a card of equal or greater.
Simon, got to keep an eye out for that Amulet of Earth.
Exactly, and he's fused the Force of Nature with Earth. So
Yeah.
there's your added +1.
Yeah, he's got an instant +1 whenever he needs to.
And he can also give it +2 by pitching 2.
Yeah, and he's got a +2 though because he's got the Weave Earth in hand. Daniar is really thinking